wrong side of town.
Hello, amigo.
They got plenty of whiskey and I've got plenty.
This is episode 703 Nerd World. I feel like I in the background and the music, I guess. Well, I get the chat brought up. Cheers, Jack. How are you, my friend? Little Ashland Craft in the background. YouTube. Southern VT, DGC Weed Nerd. Mr. Marshall Artist. My daughter was asking about you today. Cheers to you, my friend.
I don't take on strangers from the bar.
Good times. Hopefully you guys have had a great day. Trying to get my chat brought up.
I don't need your number.
That's funny. I had somebody ask me why I'm always looking up all the time. It's 'cause I've got filter screens on the camera there. Automation is freedom. Rowdy 420. Cheers to you. What are you guys smoking on? Cheers to you.
Don't overthink.
Buddy Killowatt.
I just need you to put your
all you fine
hands
folks.
all over me.
Light up this.
I'll get the tab. You call the cab. Baby, tonight is the first
Mac Mosa.
I ain't wanna drink on broken hearts. I don't take on strangers from the bar. But I'm hurt like hell.
Good stuff, good stuff. Even though we all know I'm not a huge fan of
I don't
the orange
need your number.
profile.
I won't call. Don't look for love, 'cause I won't call.
X to the sweeter. Sounds pretty good. Southern VT.
Is your place of mine?
Jack Greenstock popping in. Love Greenstock. Jacket. I should be able to hear you now, Jack. What's in the bowl? What's in the bowl? Cheers, Brett. How you doing, brother? Man, it was a pleasure, man. One of the biggest thing I love about these events is the opportunity to meet people. And that is honestly the best reason to go to these events, man. This is something special, being able to do this or close to these days. I've been a little more greedy with my time lately. I don't know why. Last night, I'm not going to shit anybody. Last night, I decided to take a micro dose of what I thought was a micro dose, right? And yeah, first of all, I had to fight through the psilocybin, like that sleep phase. You know what I'm talking about? And then it was coming on quick. It'd been a long fucking day anyway. But then it hit. And it was like, wow. For the first time in a while. And it was, fuck, man. I bet if I would have had thrown it on the scale, I bet it wasn't much. It wasn't much. It was, I know the strain was penis strain. But, man, it couldn't have been like maybe at best of 5/8 by 5/8 chunk. You know what I mean? And
was it super dry?
It was super dry, but it was it had the blue, like the blue tinge to
Streaking.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, and there was a lot of it. And,
well, that's you're literally seeing the psilocybin, those blue streaks, I believe, are psilocybin indication.
Brother, you know when I'm like saying, how many episodes have I?
Many. Many.
So I thought no problem. No problem. It's more, you know what I mean? But when it hit, man, I was like, oof, oof, oof. Actually, for the first time, man,
Different
it was
grower
kind of nice.
or source?
I know I kind of know the guy, even though I can't think of his name at the top of my head. But he's at a lot of these smaller events, and usually some type of judge. We'll put it there. And so, kill the music. All right, I went on. There you go. So, fucking for the first time in a long time, I actually had like some visual. I decided I kind of gave into the tiredness of the mushroom because I mean, I tell you what, some of the best experiences I've ever had with a psilocybin has been in a sleep phase, like peaking when it, in a sleep leaves you with that real vivid,
Right.
vivid dreams.
Right when you go into the dream state, blast off.
Pretty fucking. I've actually like came out with like problems being solved in that phase and shit like that. So I was like, yeah, oh yeah, this be a good thing, you know what I mean? But for the first time in a long time, I was like, shut myself in a dark. It was dark, lights off, dark, so you kind of lose your mind to like play. Anywho's, man, all I could say is it was a fucking really good experience, man. It was for the first time. It was like I don't even know how to describe it without, It was almost like making friends with colors. That's the best way I can explain it. Okay, so if you will, picture basically a in this case, what I remember most vividly are green, blue, aqua blue, yellow, and red. So like dots, right? But they moved so fast, they left tracer images, right? So like you could see, like they'd almost like color out like something real quick. Horse, you know what I mean? Images, random like fucking images in my mind, and it was pretty cool, and it lasted for a nice bit, just fucking playing with my mind and making me laugh, and then can kind of made, as they do most often, make you dig a little bit into yourself and think about what you want, where you want to go, if you've been fucking up and all that, whatever. And so all in all, it was a much needed experience, a resting experience that I needed for the body, but it was a fun, relaxing, and good night all in all. But it wasn't planned. It wasn't planned, that's for sure. I planned that.
Well, the reason I asked if it was a different grower is because we usually get it from one person, and then we got it from like his mentor because he was all out. And his mentor is like another level. They're growing the same strains, but the other dude's just growing them a little bit better. And my wife was microdosing with, weighed out measures. And she took like, the guy that he learned from, same strain. It was either penis envy or a Thai. I can't remember which one this exact moment. But she again thought she was going to take a microdose and have no feeling, and she got fucking lit. Like closed eye visuals, some open eye visuals. Like it was, it sent her for a little bit of a ride, and we're talking just like a few taps, like of not even a gram, like point something, But it's amazing how potent some of them really can be. The strains do vary a lot. Golden Teacher is supposed to be another good one, but it just depends. I don't know.
It was definitely a good night. Cheers, Miss Green Fingers. We did not welcome you in yet. Cheers. How you doing, bro?
Cheers. I thought I might have jumped in on a show that you guys might have had between yourselves. Honestly, I was like, hold on, I didn't read the title. I just jumped in. I was like, shit.
We just started a
Yeah.
little early. Weed nerd
Is
world.
the mushroom episode or the experience episode? What's
It's more of the experience. But,
yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. My dog's experienced a pizza hunger, so I gotta give him a piece of pizza or he's gonna bark. So 2 seconds.
so what has been some of your either one of your guys' either good or bad experience with psilocybin? And I've shared a lot of mine over the few years. God, I can't even say that. I believe I'm saying that years. Over the years, I've shared a few of mine, but what about you guys?
I've Jack. Who wants to go first? Me?
So
Okay.
there's only two of you.
I
Flip
know.
for it.
I know. I was just saw his mouth full and I figured that I'd get him off guard, you know. Yeah. Mine, there was so many shit. Okay, well, one big trip. It's an album slash CD, and I found that at a one of those record shop places. People don't know about that shit no more. But at a record shop, there was a CD under the DVD section, and it had a great music section, so I got it, and I didn't know it was gonna change my life forever. But the motto was like 4 ounces, 5 hits of acid, and an eighth of mushrooms or something like that. It was like, but that was like the experience. So like you have to get that, like whatever the experience kind of was, and you try to follow along with their journey and do what they do at the same time during the soundtrack, and you kind of trip with them. But like, yeah, I got a bunch of chocolate mushrooms and made it fucking like a whole summer, like of me just doing these chocolate mushrooms that were an eighth each. So like each chocolate had an eighth of them, eighth of mushrooms. I was shaving it off into blunts and fucking smoking them and eating them and yeah, just every day. Like it skipped 2 or 3 days, gotta pass out, of course. So I'd wake up like the middle of the week and just pop a mushroom instead of eating anything and just listen to the album and watch the fucking DVD after and fucking same shit, just trip out all fucking day. But the visuals on that shit were so cool that you didn't need nothing else but that DVD because like it was gonna transform your life and the questions he was asking and the way they edited it. It was almost like a programming. Like it was such a trip, one big trip. That's all I can remember what it was called, and it was done on film by a small camera, handheld camera, and just the visuals on it were so great that it made you question everything, and the ego death was so fast that like within halfway of the shit if you're tripping, like he makes you murder your ego pretty much, like just like murder shit. Like you're like already transformed through like halfway of the fucking of the, of the DVD. So like yeah, it was like helps you like really get through the shit if you're by yourself and have nobody around. It's kind of like a shaman of like just helps you guide you along and make sure you don't go to the wrong way. And like don't ever go in front of a mirror. That's like the other thing they say too on there when they go in front of a mirror right after they say that while tripping. Ooh, the questions he asks himself. Oh my God, makes you fucking really fucking fall into that hole of like, what am I worth? What is this whole life? Like, what is everything? Like, everything is nothing and nothing is everything. Like, yeah, that changed my life. That was the best shit. But the visuals that I would have, I was always by myself. But I didn't have much friends like around back then. Like, it was like literally me. I didn't have to go to school because I was homeschooled. So like I didn't have the programming that people got at school, and I got to like choose my own path, kind of. So kind of like hippy dippy shit that I chose, and that's kind of what molded me is that whole summer of mushrooms. I would call it, I guess, some truffle mushrooms. Yeah, summer of the truffle mushrooms. But changed my life. When I did share it with my friends, though, like they had that same trip. Like they got to watch the video and they watch the ego death on everybody once again, and it's just a healthy thing, I think, for some people to do. So clears your mind of the bad shit that might have happened yesterday, makes you think about today instead of tomorrow. Like there's no tomorrow either. There's no yesterday. It's just today. Just take every day slowly, one at a time. Every last breath might, I guess, your last trip. But you gotta remember how to breathe. Then you watch the earth breathe, and then you don't have to remember shit. You're just like, fuck, it's all is one. One is all. Beautiful shit. I love it. That's my shit. Jack, your turn.
To be honest, my mushroom experiences, I haven't had like a bad one to recall. I used to say to my buddy in college, if I had access, and now I do, coincidentally, I would use them every single day. But I coincidentally don't, because I think personally for me, even like a heroic dose has never made me blast off as much as Salvia did. And I had Salvia when I was young. I was only 16. And that took me off of this planet to a different dimension. And mushrooms have been like more, I guess, grounded. And even like the strongest heroic doses I've taken, I get closed eye visuals with fucking really good cannabis. So like the amount of visuals that I was getting with mushrooms, even at the strongest, and my highest doses were like 5 to 7 grams dry, nothing insane. I see people taking like, somebody just said they store up until they can get 70 grams or something crazy. Maybe it was 50. I can't remember. They had a huge ass mason jar, and they were like 59 point. It was like 69.7 or something. They're like, I need to get that 70. It's like they do like one giant ass dose every so often. So maybe I've just never pushed it. I know it's not like it's similar to cannabis in that you're not going to overdose or die, but my experience has just been mostly positive. Like a lot of interaction with nature, just hiking, exploring. When I was younger, like doing silly shit with friends, like running around golf courses. I don't know. I never threw up. A lot of people throw up that I would take them with, so I don't know if. And I don't like mushrooms culinarily, anyway. So like, I've never really been a huge fan of eating them. So I was surprised my stomach kept them down because so many people were vomiting. But I think part of it might have been like not understanding the psychological effects it was having on them. Like it was overwhelming to them. And like I said the other day with you, Robert, we were talking a little bit about this. Something that affects your mind can affect your body. It's like psychosomatic is what sometimes they call it. Like your brain is manifesting in your body. And in the case of mushrooms, if you're like really tripping hard and you're not processing it, maybe you'll see something that seems gross that might make you throw up. But because it was always like hours after they took them, it wasn't like they ate the mushroom and then threw it up right away. It was like when they were tripping to vomit. But thankfully, never had that. But yeah, man, Salvia was way more. I only did it one time too. But as far as like, I felt embarrassed because what I actually did in reality and what I was seeing and like experiencing were two completely separate things.
Like the Miley Cyrus video that we all see, like you blasted off like that with it.
I don't know if
I'm
familiar with that.
She explained it like she saw like pretty much God like within 5 seconds later, and she like looked so goofy in the video for like 5-10 seconds, but she said it felt like forever but she just like making a few faces and acting goofy, and it was like she thought she was acting like really ridiculous, or like what she thought everybody must have saw was like her, what she was going through, just like seeing every fucking thing at once, just like an amazing blast off experience.
For me, it wasn't like, it didn't reveal much at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But now, like reflecting on it, it has like, I guess, had some more profound impacts on things later. But like, what it really showed me is like, you need to respect the potency of some drugs that you're not familiar with.
Did you bong hit it, or did you like?
We
How
smoked
did
it
you?
out of a pipe, but we all had a
Oh,
gram. It was the purple sticky salvia brand. I've told this story in the past, so sorry for anybody who's already heard it. But there's a 1 gram little, like it came in a purple, like what seeds come in almost, so like a little purple snap open plastic jar
nice.
that was tiny, but it had a gram of 120 extract or 120x salvia. I think that's Blanca who just hopped in. So cheers, Blanca.
Yeah, cheers, everybody. What's up, Jack?
Here's
What's up,
Brian.
Eagle?
Like it.
Green Fingers, Eagle, what up?
We were just talking a little bit about tripping, and Eagle was sharing some experiences where maybe things went a little stronger than expected, and I was telling Green Fingers about my salvia experience because my mushroom experiences have all been pretty positive. But with salvia, I smoked the whole gram in one bowl, like one bong hit, or not a bong hit. It was like a bubbler, and they said to hold it down as long as you can because like the longer you hold it in, it's gonna impact you more or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was holding it and holding it. And I personally knew a few people that had taken it, and like one person like thought he saw a zebra, and he like was in the woods petting a zebra. And a lot of people took it and they didn't experience anything. They like had like the 20x or the 40x or the 60x, and it didn't make them trip. So I'm kind of skeptical. I was like, this shit ain't gonna work. I'm not feeling anything. Blah blah blah. I'm holding it down like 30, 40 seconds. I blow it out. I cough, and I'm like sitting there waiting, and it literally just was like snap. Like I felt like everything went white for a second, and I saw my body like fall basically into like a grinder, like a mechanical metal grinder, and I got crunched up into a bunch of like really brightly fucking colored pieces of cereal, like hot pink and like blue, and I was being packaged in boxes on a like conveyor belt. And the weirdest thing was like it was kind of like a how it's made. Like I was being like flown through a factory, seeing all this shit happening to me in like the third person. So I like witnessed it like out of body experience style. And as I pan by, there's like 2 conveyor belts, and the pink is going into the one box that's like a pink box. And there's kind of like a explosion, like a wham kind of like thing that you'd see in like a comic. But in the middle of that is my brother's face, who I was with at the time. And the other box had my brother's friend, his face was on it. So I was like, what the fuck is this? And I could see their mouths moving, but I couldn't hear anything they were saying. I could see their lips moving on the boxes and everything. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? And as I like come back to reality, my brother is holding me like around my waist, like shaking me, like, dude, you're fucking tripping. Because apparently I sprinted out into the woods. We were already in the woods at a metro park. This is back when I lived in Ohio. And we were kind of by like a little pond that was maybe like 50 feet wide, 100 feet across. And we were sitting right in front of it on like a dirt mound. And we were, you know, I was actually standing. They were both sitting down. I was standing when I smoked shit. So I fucking took off running maybe 50 yards into the middle of the woods. And I put my hands up in the air like this and started waving back and forth and yelling out loud, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. So my brother was like holding me around my fucking waist and like, dude, you're not a tree. You're fucking tripping. And so when they like walked me back to where they were at, they kept smoking the shit. And I was sitting on the ground, like looking at the pond, and I see like Dr. Seuss fucking fish like flying over the thing. Like they have like literal like wings, and they're like cartoon fish. And I look at the trees, and they're like breathing. They have like eyes and a mouth. They're like fucking breathing. And I could see like I look down at my leg, and I see sprouts just fucking sprouting out of my leg for the next like maybe 2 to 5 minutes. And I look over at my brother and his buddy, and they're running up and down like a little dirt mound that they believe to be a half pipe. They were so fucking tripping. Like they thought they were skateboarding at like the fucking X Games or something. But man, that was a wild. And then after, I'd say probably another 20 or 30 minutes, I just felt like I was super stoned on like a heavy ass indica. But one of the stranger experiences, and there's a lot that can be extrapolated from that, I think, but nothing too noteworthy, I guess.
I have a couple different experiences with salvia. So like when I went to massage school, one of my note taker or whatever, he was like, hey man, like, you know, you want a couple plants for your window here and your dorm room? And I was like, for sure, man. Like, so he like comes through and gives me like 3 coca plants, fucking big ass ones, and then like 3 fucking salvia plants. And so like he's like, yeah, dude, you can smoke, you know, chew on these coca and fucking smoke the salvia, and like, you know, builds up in your system over time before you actually get high or whatever, supposedly. So I tried it and never bong hit after bong hit, never got shit. And then went to Haight Street in San Francisco, on Haight Street, to this smoke shop or whatever, got 100x Salvia another time, and literally like fucking smoked a bowl of that, and like left my body fully, like stepped into the next, you know, like stepped into like another dimension or something. It was just completely different, and I was out of my body. My friend was like, yeah, you went up and picked up my daughter's dry erase board and started saying my name and like spinning in circles and shit. Like, I was like, oh geez, thanks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'd never done salt, you know.
You have no recollection of it either. That's the craziest thing. Like, to me, it scared me into like worrying about some of the other hallucinogens, unfortunately, because I was like, I had the wrong perception that if I was to do something like that and I don't have control over my body, what if I harm somebody? Like, I'm a really peaceful person. The last thing I want to do is harm somebody. And accidentally, and then to have to be like, oh, I'm going to blame it on some drugs, I don't remember it. But really, I had no recollection of the whole thing, like the whole tree thing. They told me about that. Like, I remember having my arms up in the air and being 50 feet away or whatever, 50 yards, however the fuck far I ran. But you're right. Like, you do feel like you leave your body. And like, if you watch, there's a YouTube channel called Gardening on Salvia. And this dude just like, he's like, all right, this is Eric with Gardening on Salvia. And he like takes a huge bong hit of it and he like goes to start gardening. And then he just falls over in a giggling fit like every time and never gets shit accomplished. But that's it's not a functional like high, I guess. Like, you can't go drive a car on Salvia, right? Like, you're so debilitated.
Have you seen like the Hamilton Morris or whatever it is, like the pharmacopoeia? Yeah, and he drank it as a tea, I believe, and then he also but yeah, like it was, and then he also used it as like a chaw, like a chew.
Yeah, he ate a shit ton of it though. He just kept on eating it and eating it and eating it, and he got high as fuck.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a minute. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
I mean, whatever works for people. And I guess the ceremony, I think, is a lot of it. Like, all these things you see, like from Maria Sabina and all these other, you know, you go down to that part of the jungle or whatever, and they have a ceremony. Like, I almost imagine, like Matthew Gates mentioned, you see sometimes at like these cannabis cups where they just like throw like 100 grams of concentrate down on like a hot plate and just fucking bake out the whole room. And it almost is a reminder of some of the cannabis ceremonies back in the day where they'd fucking have basically just like a hot pot and they're throwing all their shit into a fire, and they'd have like a teepee and they'd be fucking beating drums and shit and dancing around and inhaling all that shit. It's like a different experience than maybe just like doing it on your couch at home or something.
Yeah, the setting and all that.
It makes a big difference. I realize it even with cannabis. Like, it's so easy to forget that cannabis is a little bit of a psychedelic. And
you want to like set an intention and shit, and like have a reason for doing, you know what I mean? Don't just do it frivolously. Like, whatever you're doing, you know, there is usually some sort of a reason to know that and to recognize it is sometimes really important, you know? Right.
100%. And even if you need to use it all the time as like a medicine, like this is just my pain reliever, know that you're using that instead of a Advil or a Tylenol or a Percocet. It might be more harmful to your body. That definitely is more harmful to your body. Fuck it. I'll throw that out there. It's a safer pain medicine than any other thing on the planet. And so many people are in pain. And on top of that, there's all the mental side effects. But we were talking about psychedelics. I don't want to steer it back into the cannabis side because I think it is interesting. Eagle, have you ever fucked around with the salvia at all?
If not, I have not. It sounds interesting, but I guess back when it was first kind of introduced to me, you know, through social media, the internet, and stuff like that, it didn't look appealing, I guess, you know, from what I see.
That's very fair. That's a fair evaluation.
I think ketamine has that same type of reputation. You kind of like fall out and you like lose control of things, and so you get, I don't know, I get a little nervous about that too.
Yes, I've become more knowledgeable about psychedelics now, and see and know that weirdness can just be, you know, what's going on the outside, I guess. Same thing with, you know, what DMT and what ayahuasca, all that stuff, you know. And that's what I've said for a long time about it's that perception that makes me really wonder about, like, say, mental illness, both through natural mental illness and mental illness through injury. You know what I mean? I think there's a good chance of that, especially even more so if it's probably from birth. You know what I mean? Because at that point, you're already in a 0.5 phase, we'll call it. You know what I mean? You're not necessarily tuned into the station. You're a little bit out. You know what I mean? But you technically, I think there's a possibility they may have 1 foot in that realm. You know what I mean? But necessarily can't, just like when you're on Salvia or any of the rest of the shit, you can't communicate your experience, what you're experiencing. And on the outside, that shit looks crazy as hell. You know what I mean? But in your mind, it's can be one of the best and most beautiful experiences you've ever had, but you can't translate it properly. So, do you think that's a possibility that, you know what I mean, that we could just be not necessarily understanding some of this shit correctly?
I think what you just hit on, we don't even use, like, our language is so primitive. Like, typing it out proves how ineffective it can be, because adding emojis, as stupid as it sounds, makes your communication much more clear. Whether it's a thumbs up or a smiley face or whatever it is, like, we're not the best at communicating with our mouths alone. That's why they say 80% of communication is nonverbal. I don't know if I agree with 100% of that, because as somebody who works with like limited peripheral individuals, 100% of it can be nonverbal at times, but what you say means a lot, and how you say it, when you say it, all that shit. And we don't necessarily understand each other, as silly as that sounds. One person says one thing, there's 3 people in like the chat right now, and there's however many weed nerds in the room. Everybody interprets what I say or you say in their own way. It comes into their head, they fucking put it through their own little computer of backwards references, like, to everything that they've experienced in their past and what makes sense to them based off what you're saying. It might just be that maybe I'm not the best communicator, or maybe people in general just don't communicate exactly what they mean all the time. Like, the words don't add up, but so often shit is lost in translation. Like, so much of people's gripes in life is miscommunication. And I feel like I'm a pretty talkative person, so often I'm able to ease through a lot of that shit. But when I watch others, I see so many people having issues that are really simply resolved by just communicating more clearly, having one person listen a little bit more and focusing on what the person's actually saying.
Hell yeah, brother. That's true. It's difficult to get it all, you know what I mean? Like, to get the other person to understand, and then when they misunderstand and don't understand, get your intentions, it can be unfortunate sometimes.
It feels like it happens so often, right? Like, you say one thing and then somehow you feel like it's the clearest. 1 + 1 = 2, right? And then for whatever reason, it could even just come down to like what people personally believe. Like, they let their backgrounds alter their judgment on certain topics or issues. But like, even just doing something simple, like asking somebody to do something for you, or like with like work, like having to get something done. It's I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of miscommunication in the world, and a lot of it is probably we're all just trying to like get our own shit done. So we're focused on what we need to do, and it's hard to really slow down enough and listen to what the needs of others are. And I don't blame people. Fuck, shit's a grind. We gotta get out there and make it however you can. But communication is key. Everybody always says it, but then it goes swept under the rug so often.
Not to twist us too far down the rabbit hole. We're already pretty much there. But it's that perception that kind of makes me wonder. One of many ingredients that make me wonder if we don't live in a digital or a sim type life. Because, it's exactly what you're saying there. We're all living the same so-called reality, but we all are living it through our own perception, which could, like I've said many times, we could all just be sim people running scenarios for a supercomputer that's trying to figure out past or future, you know what I mean, or time in itself.
I don't think that's outside the realm of possibilities at all. Shit. I mean, there was one time, you know how like when you get that, you stand up too fast and like you kind of get like that blurry screen, like everything kind of goes like gray, like you see on a TV screen. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but that and like one night, just weirdly, I don't know, I was like using the bathroom, it was pitch fucking black, and I was looking at a wall right in front of me, like in the bathroom, and it just felt to me like the Matrix. Like I swear I could see the fucking zeros and ones, like binary code streaming across the wall. Like it, something in my mind, like Ego was talking about, like on hallucinogens, like maybe you think somebody's crazy when they can't understand or do something in the moment. But like I looked at that fucking wall and it was like there wasn't paint on it anymore. It was like I was in an alternate reality looking at the code, like the zeros and fucking ones. If you've ever done binary code, is like the oldest type of code. It's just zeros and ones over and over and over. And it felt like I could see in that moment, like this isn't, it felt like this isn't even a fucking wall. Like it's part of a greater thing. Like, it could be, especially with like all the shit you see now with like deep fakes. I was watching America's Got Talent, I think is what it's called, with my wife. And one of them, basically they had 3 guys that know how to sing, come on and sing. But like they made them with the video look like Terry Crews, Simon Cowell, and Howie Mandel. He's whoever Howie the judge is. But you look at the video right above them, like these guys are all singing and they're like behind a little screen. And then you look up at the screen up top and it looked just like Simon was fucking singing. Like they had enough references of his face that it was so smooth. It was like imperceptible from reality. Simon was watching through his, like this, watching both times. This was the second time. The first time they did it to him alone, and now this time they did it with 3, the most recent one, like to all 3 of them. And you could see the look on the people's faces as they were watching a very true image of themselves singing, and it was not them, but they could see themselves doing it, and you could tell it was fucking with their brain. They like could not even grasp the reality of the situation. How the fuck is this going on? It was just too much for them. Like both times, Simon, like you could see he was like uncomfortably watching. He was really interested in it, but at the same time, he was just like, I feel like our brains maybe aren't necessarily ready to and equipped to handle the fact that you could make anyone say or do anything with just a few photos of them like looking each direction. They can use the software and stitch it all together and make a fucking pretty smooth video of any of us saying pretty much anything, which is wild.
Yeah, after 2 years of being on, or after even a year, you're on a show even like this, somebody out there could deep fake us pretty easy.
Or even just do the edits, like those really silly ass edits they always do to Joe Rogan, where they take his words like out of context and they make it seem like he's having like really weird erotic conversations with like his male friends. And then you watch the episode and they're like, how did they make that happen? Because nothing like the conversation that these edits show, nothing like that even comes up. But like with Joe Rogan, he's got thousands of episodes, and just like if anybody cared enough, what I think they would do is search every single word. I think you can look at like the script from any one of these videos, and then they'd put it into a thing, and then they can search for certain words and then write out the script that they want you to say, and they just edit it and then smooth it out. So that they used to do it with presidents all the time, because presidents would, speak a lot, and then they would edit them to like chop it up. Like they can make them literally say like, happy birthday, green fingers, or whatever,
literally anything. Trump called my house before back in the 90s, before he was even president, trying to fucking do something. fucking and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it was for the local fucking. It wasn't even him. It was a fucking, like you said, it was just fucking fake fucking shit. The president
Robocall. He was trying to get you to vote for him, and Trump was probably trying to get you to go to Trump University or something.
Yeah, it was some. It was for the casino when they were down there at the Coachella Valley at Spotlight 29, and it was Trump 29 casino. It was fucking free rooms or some shit.
I think the CD was scratched like when Bush was making some of his reference and some shit, you know. Fool me, can't get fooled again.
Fool me once.
That's a peanut butter smear on the bottom of the CD. That's just fucking little smudge on the bottom.
Right.
I think at times, if like any of us, if you speak enough in public, we'll all have gaffes where people fuck up what they say. But I do think that in his case, sometimes he was trying to appear dumber than he was. As much as people might think that that's me trying to give him credit, I'm not political at all. But there's a movie W, just like the letter W, that kind of is like a comedic highlight of his life. But one of the things that stood out was like he was like a fraternity frat boy, but he was the first guy who memorized every fucking name of every single person there, and like it was like far before anybody else. And he was actually very good at a lot of shit. Like you don't get to where he got without being successful in a lot of ways, but. I mean, His dad was literally a president before, so that's as close to a fucking monarchy as we'll have in America, right?
Right. There's
father, son, president, like
nepotism.
One after another.
Yeah.
Well, they had with one, Democrat in between being Clinton, but it went George Bush, Clinton, and then George Bush again. Like it was Herbert Walker and then W, but that was pretty fascinating to see. Something else, and not to go back to Joe Rogan, but he mentioned it on some recent episode, and I sort of started looking into it. Was like incest in the old, like English families. There's all these old paintings you can look back, and it's not just English. It's kind of Egypt has a bunch. Funny enough, Cleopatra, they tried to like set her up with both of her brothers, and she they were a little like younger, so she like denied them, and she ended up like killing off I think the second one, but she was like one of the few who in her culture denied the incest, but. There's a bunch of cultures, and the Queen of England is married to her second cousin. That's a real thing, man.
Denied incest, but so it's cool with the murder. Murder's cool.
Yep. Hey, man, she was a gangster. I don't know. Yeah, old ways, man. Different times. But these paintings were fascinating. And there's something called like the Hackington's jaw or something, where like if you get too much incest, one of the first things that happens with certain people is their jaw like protrudes so far forward that they can't like bite. They get a super big underbite, like crazy noses, like weird looking heads.
You see the people getting that fucking plastic surgery, where they've been getting like that bigger extended jaw and fucking.
Oof. People get plastic surgery for the craziest things, man.
Goofy shit, dude. I saw that shit.
Have the Beavis fucking teeth going on, like I'll jaw it out.
I know there's some people that got like legit horns fucking put on their head. That shit's kind of wild.
People are crazy.
When I was younger, I wanted to get like fucking extensions on my teeth, and like I wanted to do all the crazy shit because I got my ears, I had like fucking TikTok toe across my fucking face, dude. Like my eyebrow, my nose had a fucking bull ring. I had my lower labrae. I had all sorts of shit, like fucking piercings and shit. And I wanted to like possibly even split my tongue, like bifurcate it. And I was gonna do all sorts of shit, body modification. But
I've seen people do that. Shit's wild.
I turned the other way. My grandparents kind of made a couple too many comments to me, and I was like, all right, I'm over it.
The tongue was probably a good place to stop. I know people who got it tongue pierced, and often it gets infected. Then it's like really fucking hard to clean around the piercing for the first few weeks, especially. And they get a nasty ass tongue, so it's a pain in the ass for a while, and you got to keep it clean. But with the bifurcation, might be different. But any sort of basically like you're doing a minor oral surgery at that point, and you have to really trust the place you're going.
Seen a guy. Well, I know a guy back in high school who actually split his tongue basically with a fucking telephone pole.
Ooh.
So he hit a pole, and then somehow through the process, split his tongue in two. And I mean, this was long before you see anything like that. He ended up having to have plastic put in there. When he put it in, they put it back together. And oh man, it was quite the accident.
That's so fucked.
Would you ever do any of that other type? Because I know you're into like tattoos and shit, Eagle. Like, would you ever do like anything else, like fucking how they do insert stones and do different shit either?
I've got a stone in this ear right now. I change out all the time with shit, but with stones, I would think about maybe different piercings. Maybe I'm starting to already gauge the fuck out of the nipple. It's already down to an 8. So that may, and then at that point, I may do the other, work the other side. I don't know. So I guess, yay. Yeah,
Cheers,
I guess.
Johnny.
What up, Johnny?
Talking about Eagle's nipples.
Yeah.
Came at the right time.
He's stretching his nipples, not even that. Just he's gauging up. Wow.
Right.
Eagle, you make me
man.
feel less bad. I used to have both pierced. I took them out a little, like probably 5, maybe 7 years ago.
My uncle had it too, like when long time ago. I think he still has it now, but he was in the military for a time as well, so he had to take it out.
I couldn't pierce those. I like them bit too much. You gotta bite my nipples. You ain't piercing the motherfuckers. So.
Green fingers. One thing I'll say is, shit. I got more hate from like straight men calling me like gay and gay bashing, even in California, which I was a little bit surprised, by the way, about
That's
that.
weird
but
too.
And on top of that, but what I will say, it opened the door to more women than any other period in my entire life.
Hell yeah.
Like when I'd be at a party, you'd lift up, oh, your nipples are pierced, and then let me see them. And then how do you show them? I can't pull my shirt down like that. You got to lift it up like this. And if you're in good shape, like I was at the time, I'm still in decent shape, but man, I was in really fucking great shape at the time.
Yeah.
Not to do my own fucking horn here, but yeah, that's a great icebreaker, I would say.
Yeah, one of my best
Every
friends.
time I pulled my shirt up like that, I feel cheap for some reason.
Like a piece of meat. You're like a piece of meat, a little piece of meat. You're like, I'm a piece of meat.
You're like green fingers, man. You're a piece of meat over there.
Yeah.
This was before I was married.
But when you're not a piece of meat, and they're like, oh, he's not just a piece of meat. Damn it. Like, I wish he was, though. You just shut the fuck up for a minute and be a piece of meat. Like, fuck. It's like, no, I'm not just a piece of meat, though, dude. I'm not a cheap fucking date. I'm not just a meal and a fucking drink.
Johnny, how you doing over there, buddy?
Love you, Johnny.
Has he got in? You gotta say
His
hello?
The audio is not connected.
Oh.
He's jumping off. That's why I've been waiting for him. Shut the fuck up. Johnny, talk. It says it's
Cheers,
connected.
Johnny. There he
You're
is.
connected. I hear you.
Oh no, I heard my fucking crazy laugh.
Isn't it great when you hear yourself?
You're on, John.
Everyone hates it. You get used to it. I can see his mute button now, so he's officially here.
He's on. Yeah, he's officially here.
What up, Johnny?
Officially official.
Johnny,
But you're still muted.
you're still
Not so
muted.
official yet. Got that mute button stuff.
Oh, he's listening to YouTube and he's watching us.
What are you smoking tonight, Blanket? While we wait for him.
Oh, some Amy's Aces. Actually, it's a little bit of a salad that there's a little bit of, I mixed, the last little bit of hippie goggles and a bunch of shit, bike seat, fucking couple different things.
It's like a community party.
Yeah, right. All the nerds jumped in this joint.
Hell yeah. Johnny, are you smoking tonight with us? Are you still trying to get set up? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. I just switched to Velvet Punch and Gelato. What are you showing us there, Green Fingers? I see the bag.
I'm trying to get
something-
the focus, but it
something
won't.
OG?
Blue drink.
Supply Co.
Yes.
Super Blue Dream.
Yeah, right.
People believe in
All the nerds jumped in this joint.
I heard something. YouTube?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
Okay, because I got a new microphone.
It sounds great too.
You sound great, Johnny.
So,
What are you smoking tonight?
but my problem is I got echoes going on.
Because you got 2 extra mics.
Hey,
on
Do
one.
you got some headphones you could put on?
Maybe his headphones are on. That's why it's echoing.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay, because I got a new microphone.
it sounds great
You're
too.
watching the show back.
Maybe
Yeah, now we
mute
can
the
hear
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, now we hear YouTube.
And my problem is I got.
That's so great. This
See how
is
good that mic is. We can hear the YouTube.
the version of YouTube was extra clear. It was like the same exact shit, but just fucking a little quieter.
It sounds great too.
Maybe
Yeah, now we can hear YouTube.
Turn your YouTube off and you'll be fine.
Oh, he's gone.
Well,
Eagle. Guess what? In the Velvet Punch F3, there's a strong hint of pine. It's coming out more in the cure. I noticed it more in the effect at first. It was a nice, like, kind of a cerebral, like, focus. But as it cures, it's more gas, grape, pine. Now, I was trying to say, like, wood before, thinking it was firewood. There was a fire the one night, but that woodiness is definitely pine. And it's like, it's a really nice combination. And I don't remember that being in the F2. So I'll have to send you some. Maybe you'll find some pine. Little grape pine.
That was classic. That was classic episode right there.
Some dragon fruit.
a little bit of dragon fruit.
That was just dragon fruit, not
Campfire.
blue dragon fruit.
You were like, oh yeah, there's one outside.
Heard a frog. Am I tripping?
Eagle, did you bring the frog from the old spot?
No. No frogs here.
You remember, you used to have one. I'd see him hopping around in the background sometimes.
Yeah,
Mr.
it was
Toad.
funny because that was before I really even knew who Mr. Toad even was, and that was his name, was Mr. Toad.
That's the
Yeah.
funniest shit, man.
That
Because
was
I
funny.
remember you calling
People
him
hit
that.
me. Yeah, I had a few people hit me and asked me if I was like kind of making fun of Mr. Toad there, and I'm like, no,
Right.
it's just the Toad's thing.
All right. What else would you call a toad other than Mr. Toad?
Yeah.
Right?
You call him
It's so
Mr.
innocent,
Frog.
and it wasn't like you were ever being mean to him. You were always very positive. I'd see you would like let him hang out in some pots sometimes, and you let him do his thing. You're always positive with Mr. Toad. Never once did I hear you say one bad thing about Mr. Toad.
That's free IPM,
The
baby.
human or the actual Toad you called Mr. Toad.
Oh shit, my dogs are outside. Hold on. Yeah, good shit, dude.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hear you.
Okay, now I don't have echo anymore. I had to shut everything off on my computer because I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't want to try to figure it out on screen.
Well, hey, you figured it out, and you're here, and you sound
I'm
clear. What are
here.
you smoking on tonight?
Actually, I haven't really even started on that yet. I got to go get it.
You have a
I've been-
severe lack of smoke in your lungs. You have too much oxygen in there.
I do. I just got me a little microphone set up here from the auction. Got it for a good price. I couldn't get this big old conglomeration over here to work, my condenser microphone, so I figured get something cheap.
Get
Anyway.
vitamins A, B, T, H, and C.
Yeah. And now let's give me some smoke. Yeah, so you guys can still hear me?
Yep.
That's
Clear
cool.
the belt.
Stepping up, Danny. Stepping up, Danny.
Eagle, did you say what you're smoking on? Maybe I'm tripping. I think you might have.
I don't know if I did, but I think I did before you came on. But it's a little bit of Mac Mosa from Mr. Smiley. But actually, I kind of ran out of what I had for backups there. So I've actually been smoking a lot of Mr. Smiley's. Mr. Smiley's growing cannabis there.
That's a good problem to have, man. To be out but have Smiley shit, you're living pretty good still.
Mhm.
It's you guys are good for each other. I'll say that. I'm glad that he's able to take care of you while you're transitioning a little bit and help you out a little bit. That's what friends are for, man. Shit, he grows the fire, so I'm sure. Yeah.
I could have a pigeon fly your way, Eagle.
So I am lost it. So like probably about 6 different flavors at least right now.
I will say, not to
Why
shit on
not?
Smiley, I think the Mac Mosa was probably one of my lesser on. They were all great. They're all like the worst was like a 7 out of 10, I would say. Most being like 8 or 9 out of 10, which is I'm a very, very, very tough critic. So he grows some fucking killer. But I hate really just don't like the Mac personally, and I think also orange is like one of my I don't like as much as like lime, for example. I do like it more than lemon. So, but
So that
certain flavors.
Gondag Mimosa that I sent down there, that had a little bit of an orange, I think, into it. You remember
It
that?
also had like rubbery. Yeah, I have the review. I'll have to go pull it up. I think I rated it pretty highly. I liked pretty much
It
everything he
has
sent me, I
such an
think.
awesome, I mean, yeah, there's more in that than just an orange smell or a taste. And it is, I really, yeah, I keep falling back on that for what, like my favorite shit.
I thought the Mac Mosa was pretty good. I'm like I said, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the orange myself, but it was not a bad mix. It was pretty good. Pretty good for the oranges.
I gave Johnny an 8.25 out of 10 on the Gone Dog Mimosa. My descriptions were citrus, funky rotten orange, rubber. Flavor was orange plus tennis ball effect, happy, uplifted, pain relief, potency 8, bag appeal 7.5, aroma 8.5, flavor 9. 8.25 out of 10 is the average there for Johnny, which I think is
Give
pretty
Johnny
solid.
a big shout out for
Badass,
being a weed
man.
nerd right there.
Yeah.
Everybody that's kind of went his way through Vegas there, he's known that weed nerd's coming. He's reached out to him and made arrangements to hang out.
Yeah, anybody
Pretty
coming
awesome
into
guy.
Vegas, man, stop in. I'll smoke you out.
Same goes for San Diego. Shit. I
Yeah,
don't know why nobody seems to really come out here though, but it's expensive to travel here.
Yeah.
Vegas is
and
a
I
lot
don't know why nobody
more
comes
travel
into
friendly.
this shit.
it's funny, Eagle. I didn't know that Nikki's was a full-on judge. That blew me away. I was like, oh shit. I felt like running out of the room. I don't want to be here when you test it. You know, she ripped it up and threw it in a joint and started that son of a bitch right away. And I was like, holy shit, she's quick. Yeah. Yeah, it was
Miss
pretty
Carla
cool.
are cool weed nerds there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We went and had a breakfast and enjoyed a little bit of time together, and it was good conversation. A lot of weird people around there, you know, in that hotel.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. So, cheers.
Drop my water bottle.
Very
Can't
much
pick it
looking
up.
forward to next week going down to Jones, Michigan, and hanging out at that cup event they have going down there, and possibly meeting cottonmouth kings. I have a
I hope you
way
do.
of getting my way through sometimes, and I think that's a possibility. So I'm definitely gonna give her a go.
Use the weed nerd, you know, method. Use that community connection.
Oh, that's for sure. If anybody that's ever with me at one of these events, man, if I see an opportunity, I most certainly seize on it. You know what I mean? As far as like meeting people and shit, I'll be like, there's such and such, and I'll be like, bing, right over there. Hey, how you doing? I love the fucking network, but it's gonna be some fun. I can't wait.
Eagle, since you're smoking it, I'm gonna read. I just pulled it up in my notes. My Mac Mosa review from Smiley. I said through the bag, I got a lemon/orange. Open bag, lemon plus earthy. I said ground up, lemon, wood, very subtle, dull, cheese. Not pure sour lemon, more like a orange, like orangey, which makes sense because it's definitely got some orange in there. Smoke, I said tastes very burnt orange, not sweet, mixed with rotten lemon. And I said potency 7.5, bag appeal 8.5, aroma 8, flavor 7, total 7.75 out of 10. So Johnny, you got him by just a hair there in that one.
What?
He definitely, his other one scored much higher.
Did who?
Mr. Smiley on that one.
Oh, hell no. I can't believe that. Oops, sorry.
Hey, it comes down to the user preference, right? So I'm not a big person that, like I said, I prefer more orange to lemon, and if the lemon was there, that probably is what dragged it down for me. But some of the other notes didn't hit. But I guess to be fair, like most of Smiley, his other stuff, admittedly scored probably higher. I get the next one up was 8.375 out of 10. The one above that also 8.375 out of 10. One above that 9 out of 10. 8.65 or 8.625 and 8.75. So White Cran 9. So shit, he's definitely got some killer shit. 9.125. That was his best one. Let's see what that one was. Skywalker OG. Well, yeah, I'm definitely fucking a bit biased here because I love OGs. I said floral earthy pine, berry earthy pine. So as I'm smoking some shit like that, ground up lavender, berry earthy pine, musk. I said it smells like lavandula. If you guys have smelled that, there's definitely linalool in it. Floral piney berry. Potency was 9. Bag appeal 8.5. Aroma 9.5. Flavor 9.5. So that was the 9.125 out of 10. But yeah, he definitely grows some killer shit. And anybody who is privileged enough to smoke down with Smiley or get to have some of his buds, I'm sure you'll definitely agree. You'll want to smoke it
Tell
again.
you what, that PPJ there from Smiley is the shit, man. That's some good shit. That's probably one of the ones that and the cereal milk has probably been in the last year. It's like sitting with a bunch of growers, you know what I mean? Those two have been the most high raising that I've seen in the last year. The cereal milk and
Yeah,
PPG.
that cereal milk. No, I mean, it sounds incredible.
I love it. I've got a fucking eighth of it in my Curador right now. My wife got today at work, but that strain is, in my opinion, one of the best. Can't wait to get out to Michigan and see you guys in person again. Get to maybe try some of Smiley's cereal milk.
Have you grown the cereal milk, Eagle?
I've grown the Milkman, which has the cereal milk in it. But I have not grown the cereal milk straight out. That's a fairly new cut, but definitely fire. I've had it myself, but I haven't grown it myself. So.
This, oh shit, I thought I had the top terpenes. I don't think it's listed actually. It says joyful, relaxing, and euphoric. 32.29 THC, 0.25 CBD. This was packaged 6 days ago, 8.25. Cannabis does their shit right. Get it fresh to the market. We're cracking a seal right now.
What is that? Is that CBD or what?
No, this is CBX is a brand out here, Cannabiotics, and this cereal milk is just the strain that we were just talking about.
Oh,
I thought maybe that it had the terpenes on the side, but it did not. But it's some fire. Probably not gonna be able to show it off too much. It's a little glass jar eighths. Pretty decent luggage. So the finger there.
yeah.
She's a frosty bitch. I feel like my lighting's better when I'm back here, but you can't really see the details.
Can't see anything on back there, but it is better lighting back there.
Let's see if I go like this. Yeah. There we go. Time. Oh. Getting better.
It's trying.
Yeah, it's not doing the best. Can't get my hand behind it while I'm holding. But anyway, it's good. It's very, very good smoke. If you're gonna get shit from the commercial market, granted this is like 60 an eighth, and I got this for free, so I can't recommend people buy $60 an eighth. So, but you get it deeply discounted or gifted, whatever it is, however you can end up with it, or homegrown. In Smiley's case, get the cut, because I think this is a very, very worthwhile cut. One of the more, like, I'll say, like, now it's becoming a hype strain that is worth growing. The other one being Biscotti in modern times. I'm a big fan of those two.
Is that a cut only?
Yes, it's a gelato cross.
Well, I'm gonna find some kind of shit like that, and maybe in my PBK hose,
Oh,
because it's got all kinds of variety in that little thing with 8 different dudes. Yeah.
so what you said you had like 3 different phenos right now that you're currently in flower?
Who's that? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You said
I see.
of the PBK hoe, right? You got the one, what was it, the 1, 2, and the 5?
Yeah, the 1, 2, and 5. Yeah, they're 3 different phenos. One of them's already got one that kind of it almost smells like stinky feet, and another one is just super sweet smelling, just like, I mean, I can't. And the one that I didn't expect to do as good is now it's got a really coned up bud. I wonder if I can see if I can pull up Zoom like Eagle does and have a walk around camera.
Walk about.
Yeah.
Blind Cat, earlier I said people don't listen. You fucking listen, bud. That's goddamn proof right there. You named the fucking phenos by number. You caught Johnny off guard. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, you know exactly how many I'm growing and everything. And what's
Oh, well, no, I didn't know what he was talking about at first. He did catch me off guard. But once I understood what he was saying, then I could go ahead and go with it.
It was impressive, though. It was quick to the point, Blind Cat. I appreciate that. It's a very, very good quality as a person.
Oh, absolutely. We talk about that stuff. As a matter of fact, he named one of my strains, or helped me name one of the strains.
Very sneaky, sir.
Yeah.
I just came back from grabbing a soda. But yeah, thanks, man. We were just talking about it like last night or the night before, so it's not that good a memory.
You have to have heard it to remember it.
Yeah.
You gotta turn off the audio on that, or turn the mic off, or turn the mic off on one of them, Johnny. Either the computer or the phone.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, you should
Okay.
be good.
All right. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now, man. This is absolutely different to me.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
See
the
that
background effect.
background on the other phone.
There you go.
Excuse me.
Okay. All right, we can do this. All right, so here it goes. This here is the number 2 of my PBK hoe. Well, let me turn that thing sideways so everyone can see that better.
Thank you.
So that's the number 2. And as you come up, you can see it's got the what's that? Okay. It wanted me to unmute. Sorry, guys. All right.
Don't listen, Johnny.
All right.
You
So
know.
you guys can see the coney style that it has. All right. So we'll come over here to the this is the PBK hoe number 1 right here.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I like the appropriate fucking garden figure there.
Yeah. And this one here has not the coney type. It's got more of a domish style, but it's got thinner leaves, and it's had trichomes on it since way early.
Since birth.
Yeah, since it started going, I'd say about maybe 2 weeks into flower, it already had trichomes starting on its leaves. So that was rather exciting. So I'm liking that one there. And now it's starting to give me a little, because I touched a leaf and it's giving me some tackiness, which is really nice. It's giving me a wild smell. It's almost got a little bit of fruit to it on that smell. This one here is my number. Oh no, that's not it. This one here, that's my PBK hoe number 5, and it's young, and it looks like it's got a different leaf pattern on the top than the other ones do. It's more flat, and it's got like I don't know. I kind of relate it to the Godiva. That's why I was kind of pointing over here, because the Godiva has that really top crested crown going across it on the bud side, and this one here has that same kind of a crested crown kind of a look to it, is what I'm thinking. And as you can see over here on this one here, it doesn't really have that tight of a crown like the other one does, but it kind of does. I don't know what the fuck. This one over here absolutely does not. This is the number 5 or the number 2, and it just seems like it's going to be a really nice structure of the bud, and it looks like it's starting to get a little bit of a purplish tinge to the trichomes on it. So I'm really excited about it. So anyways, I'm gonna shut this thing. You guys still there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
right.
for showing us the garden, Johnny.
Hell yeah.
I always love walking through. It's always fun. Checking out plants. We talk about them enough. It's always great to see them on the show live when we can.
I'm not used to all this electronics all around me making it, so I got like this force field. So I think I'm gonna exit this one here so I don't have that.
Audio really good though. I was like, man, Johnny sounds clear as fuck.
It sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good burp string.
All right, I don't.
My neighbor's my buddy's mom, she was my neighbor, and she always used to say, oh, there's a kiss for you, Jamie, when she'd wake up in the morning and fucking like yeah, my name's James, by the way.
Like I used to be like, there's a frog over here, come pick it up. My grandma would do the frog thing and say, come get this frog over here, and then she'd part right when I get over there. Like,
Yeah.
Every time, every day. Fucking
My brother had barking spiders all around him.
barking spiders.
Every time I turned around, there was barking spiders running around behind him, always behind him, you know. So, because he would always turn and go, barking spider, man.
The dog, the barking spiders, and the frogs were like the main three things I had to go. Come pick up this. Come over here. I think I seen a. And then by the time I get over there to look, then fucking let it out. Barking spider or a frog or a fucking yeah, or the dog. The dog did it. It wasn't me.
My grandpa would take like a fake cat turd and put it on top of the stairs and like tell my grandma to come, like, oh, come here. Da, da, da. Fucking my grandma would just freak out. Like,
Awesome.
yeah, he's always playing tricks. Like, he'd play a bunch of jazz in the car, fucking make you fall asleep or whatever, and then just scream bloody murder, fucking swerving the car all crazy. Like,
Wow.
Yeah,
grandparents are hilarious, man.
that's a cool one to do when somebody's parked and like you
Like,
walk
to
up
shut
behind
off
them
the
and shake it.
headlights during nighttime, like slow creeping to the house on the old dirt road there where it's forest on each side. Then either just cut it down to the parking lights or just cut them off to where you're just floating through the darkness. It's a fucking weird feeling. Kids always scream, stop, don't turn the fucking lights on.
I grew up with my mom doing that just without, so I wouldn't get scared because it was just like, all right, we're gonna go down this dirt road with no lights, and we turn it off the lights, just fucking go across the field because there's nothing there. Just fucking.
Growing up, my dad had a 71 Chevelle, and it ended up like testing in like 9 seconds in the quarter mile or whatever. But my dad would always
That's fast as fuck.
take us to the fucking to the airstrip or whatever, and we'd be in the back seat and he'd just fucking floor it. You know what I mean? We'd even be in the back. My neighbor would be back there too. We'd all be cracking up.
That's a lot of G-force, dude. Under 10 in the quarter, you're like flushed to the fucking seat. It's super hard. That's an experience. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's a lot
My
of fun.
uncle now, like, he sold it to my uncle, and it's fucking, I think it even runs a little faster now because he juiced it up. But yeah.
Yeah, there's some gearheads out there that really can tune up an engine and make it run like crazy. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, my whole family's into all that shit. That my grandpa built a fucking airplane. Like, his brother builds fucking cars, motorcycles. Like, my fucking the other one builds trains. Fucking, it's crazy.
Any faster, they'll have to put a roll cage and parachute on that car. I'm not even joking. Most like raceways will, if you're under 9 in the quarter mile, they force you to put parachutes on with a roll cage. Otherwise, they'll like kick you off the track after like the first run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think that's like a certain class when you get to that speed. And it depends on maybe what state you're in. California is probably a little bit less fun freedom having than maybe other states are. But yeah, it's amazing what I love automotive technology, and it's fascinating how it's evolved over the years. I grew up restoring really old cars. Like, my grandpa and I did a 1942 Mercury Sportsman, which was one of 3 in the world at the time, and it was the only one that had 100% original pieces. It was like an old Woody, is what they call them, but like white wall tires, drum brakes. I saw something on Instagram the other day, and it was like somebody fixing a radiator, and people are like, "What is this?" It was like, like all fucked up, and they were taking like a screwdriver and gently tapping the bent radiator, and then they like panned out, and you could see like they had like hundreds more, and people are like, "Oh, you should use a wire brush. You should just buy a new one." And I was like, "Well, if this is an original part and they're doing a restoration job, then this could literally make or save them thousands of dollars to go through and do that labor." And like, I went through with a rubber mallet and a screwdriver and just tapped out, and it took days, hours and hours of work, and then painted it nice and make it look brand new pretty much. But it's worth doing, I think, sometimes, to restore some of those old cars. And then I think it definitely gave me an appreciation now to see what's possible in modern times. Like, one of my godfathers had a Corvette, so I've always been a fan of those. And man, I should say my godfather, I only have one. Not like in some mafia or something. But Godfathers. Yeah. I was thinking like the movies. It sounds so romanticized now when you say the Godfather. We're like, my Godfather. But yeah. There's some really cool fucking cars out there. A lot of them are very expensive and getting more expensive right now. I think it's actually coming back. The bubble's popping, they're saying. Used cars went crazy and now it's kind of coming back down to reality.
I'm looking at all the apps and shit that they have on Zoom here because I didn't have this on my freaking phone, man. This is just like new to me now.
There's a lot of shit that we don't take advantage of. Johnny, speaking of cars, how's yours running? Is everything working for you over there? Have you gotten everything?
You know, it's running pretty good. I'm having a little bit of hesitation in my gas. So I'm thinking I might have to change like the fuel filter or something like that. I'm thinking that might be the next thing I take care of, and that's pretty easy. I changed a few hoses on it because I had a cracked hose on on one of the gas lines, and it stalled and it wouldn't start. And I said, "Oh shit!" So I went out there and I started looking, and I just focused right in on this one hose that had a little bit of a kind of dry, kind of cracky looking on one side of it. And I took a look at it and I kind of turned it and I said, "Yep, there's a little hole right there. That could have started a fire at its heat, you know." A little bit of alcohol or a little bit of gas dropping down on a hot engine or muffler, poof. So I went ahead and I twisted, I loosened up the clamp on it, and then I twisted the hose so it got really tight together. And then I tightened it back up and it started right up. So I drove it home, or drove it to a auto place, got the new hose, replaced it. It's been running decent ever since, but I still need to replace something like that.
You get it in the zone.
Filter.
Oh, so.
Yeah. I was in the zone, man. I was in the auto zone.
I get in the Amazon zone when I'm getting car parts.
I like to go to,
AutoZone's nice because you can get it right there, right then.
I go to Rock Auto or I go to Geek Auto online, and I get prices, really good prices on the parts. That's why I was able to replace a bunch of the all the bearings in the motor mounts. That only cost me right around I'd say $500, $600 in parts altogether, tops. Not too bad.
Not bad at all. People spend more than that on tires. Shit. Somebody's got an open mic.
Cheers,
Buddy, welcome in. Cheers.
Hi. How's everyone? Hi, Jack and Eagle, Green Fingers, Johnny, and Blind Cat. How is everyone?
Doing
Chilling,
good.
chilling.
Sorry. I'm not used to being able having people hear me. Actually, if you think about it, you haven't been able to hear me that well for a while now. Every one of these little gadgets that I've gotten have not been satisfactory as far as being able to pick up the voice. This is rather awesome.
Gotta be nice to be heard, Johnny. I'm definitely glad we can hear you loud and clear tonight. Beats the Johnny Roboto or the sounds like you're talking through a tin can. I just covered up my mic to try and make the audio worse to simulate how back in the day it used to sound.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
So Green Fingers, how hot was it?
127.
Holy moly. Like my house was 101, but I had to go to Temecula like at 3:00 and it was 109 and it was hot. How hot was it down on the coast, Jeff?
It was a nice 78 and sunny. Beautiful. Wasn't too
Go
hot.
figure. Like damn near every other time of the year,
Michigan,
other
I
than
think
winter.
we barely.
Yeah.
Move to the coast, boys. No, I'm just kidding. It's
It's
fucking
like
expensive.
47 degrees right now.
Damn. How much, Johnny? Canna seed? What's the
Well,
temperature?
We got up to 109 today, and it didn't get down to but about 82 degrees last night.
Nice.
So it's
I live
stayed,
in a hot place. I won.
It was in like the 90s here today, like low 90s, but it's like in like the low 60s right now. But it's supposed to get down to like 50 or 48 or something like that tonight. I think 50.
Guys, I exaggerated. It was actually 79 degrees. So poor me. But don't worry. I went to a pool for work. So
did you have
I
to turn on
survived.
your air conditioning?
I don't have air conditioning.
See,
Yeah,
that's-
Oh my God.
80's pretty warm
pool
on
is.
the coast.
The pool is air
Actually,
conditioned.
That's
like
nice.
79, 80.
The
That's pretty
ocean
warm
is
at the
our air
coast.
conditioning. I jump in there if it gets too hot. But the window fan, who just jumped in? I heard a ding dong. Smiley's in the house.
that's
Uh-oh.
right. It's the Smiley.
Or
Trouble.
he's gonna be in the house soon.
What's up, Smiley?
Cheers, Smiley.
Trouble's here.
Cheers, man.
I was talking about Eagle smoking your Macmosa, so I read off my review. It was actually one of your lowest scores of the batch that I reviewed, but then I hyped up the Skywalker OG, which is like a 9+. So I don't want people to think that I'm like talking about you behind your back. This is all shit I told Smiley. Okay, yeah.
I was listening. Just smiling.
Yeah. I really do appreciate anybody who is willing to share samples and open to getting feedback, because some people just want to be told, oh, this is the best shit ever. And I'm happy to tell you that too, if that's what you want to hear.
Right? A lot of that comes down to the genetic, though. It's gotta be.
I'm actually a little jealous you got the cereal milk, man. I was in a position where I was going to have to pay $150 for it and have to drive a few hours to pick it up. And I was like, yeah,
It's worth
I'll
it.
wait. I know, but I'll have another crack at it again.
I
know I
don't
will.
have the cereal milk, just to clarify. I wish
Oh, okay.
I had cereal milk. I've been trying to snaggle that milkman cut from Ego, but because that
That's
one,
one of the few I've saved.
I hope so. That thing was badass.
I want to hear about
I'll
it.
save
Describe it.
for you. I mean, I'll hold on to it, no problem.
How is the milk, man? Eagle or Smiley? I want to know a little bit about it. I know it's a cross of cereal milk. That's all I know.
Oh man, it's good. It's real good. It's real good. And it has a lot of that cereal milk taste to it, which I was hoping for.
That's really all I give a fuck about, honestly. If it does, that just is fire.
Yeah.
That's a fond place in my heart. It was one of the first strains that I smoked that was really, really fucking good. It was actually Fruity Pebbles way back in the day. I was pretty young, admittedly, but my brother and I were on vacation. We had some, and it'll always hold a fond place in my fucking heart. Whenever I come across it, I don't know,
I'll
brings
tell
joy.
you what, one of the other ones that I've grown out this last few years, it's kind of really stood out as well is that Maui Soda Pop, which was his soda pop timed the root beer, that root beer cut. That shit was straight up delicious. From Maui Gold Genetics sent me that. That shit was straight up fucking fire. That was one I wish I still had a cut of. And I'm thankful I still have beans of. You know what I mean? We always talk about, is it worth keeping one or two back? Yes.
Jack, do you know, like, what camp did the cereal milk come out of? Like, what breeder guys brought it out at first?
I think it's a Michigan guy. I think it's the same guy who did the Oreos, but I could be wrong about that. Cannabiotics is kind of claiming that there's like 7 people that have a cereal milk. Okay, so like 2020 Mendocino is a breeder I respect, and I think that he had a good point. There's a bunch of people that have a song called Purple Rain, but when you hear Purple Rain, everybody thinks of Prince, right? So he's like the first one who made it popular. And like if you name it something that's an original name, like funny enough, like Skittles, the candy company, that's not a real word. So when they made up the word Skittles, it was like copyrighted and trademarked. So that's why Skittles is getting fucked by using, and even using like Taste the Rainbow and all this other shit. That aside, the cereal milk, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you exactly who the originator was. And
Well, but
I've
wait,
had a
you
few different
mentioned
renditions.
Fruity Pebbles like in a
Alien
few minutes
genetics.
ago. Well, isn't Fruity Pebbles trademark thing from that cereal and could be
They call it
under the same thing?
FPOG. FPOG, Fruity Pebbles OG is what they refer to it as, FPOG. But everybody knows what it the problem is, like they're naming it that because it smells and tastes exactly fucking like the cereal. So it's like a rose by any other name. What the fuck do you call it, right? Like
Well,
it
and
smells just
names,
like.
I mean, cannabis is using up a lot of names that people seem to be trying to get creative, but business in general has been using up names and branding just about every name they could possibly do for century. So no wonder cannabis is like butting heads with, you know,
Everything.
making Gorilla Glue, Skittles. If you really went through the whole strain list as like a corporate lawyer looking, you'd probably find that a good percentage of cannabis strains have names that possibly they could lose because of litigation, right?
So cereal milk, I just looked it up. This is Leafly, so I don't know how accurate, but it does say that it's a cookie strain, and that's who brought it out. But it's made by crossing Y Life, which is cookies by cherry pie, so kind of a back cross there, or anyway. But then then snowman. I don't know what snowman is. It says
It's their trademark, like male
it's
or whatever they claim.
it says it's
Female.
the dominant cookies pheno is the snowman. It's all cookies, like it's all
That snowman right here.
red cookies.
Snowman's pretty fire. I smoke this.
I'll tell you what Cannabiotics version is because it's not that. It's like a lemon something number, whatever. Let me pull it up.
Dad Westport will love that strain. It's like cookies on cookies on cookies.
He loves cookies though.
Think he would go cookies over
Like
that?
a triple stuff Oreo, man.
Okay, it's strawberry lemonade crossed to thick mint cookies, and thick is spelled THICC. Mint cookies is what Cannabiotics is claiming their cereal milk is, and that's one that I'm a big fan of. Strawberry lemonade crossed to thick mint cookies.
So much
So-
fucking stuff.
Smiley, if that is true,
Number 15. Sorry.
Mr. Westport's jam is the cookies. And I know he's listening. He's hanging in chat. Mr. Westport, can you please provide me with a short or a meme of the fucking Sesame Street Cookie Monster? C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Or he's fucking, what was it? I forgot if it was on a Family Guy where he's like fucking shooting up cookies in the fucking bathroom stall and shit.
You gotta line it up first with THC. C is cookie. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
You got that C? You got that
Cookie
C?
Monster was trying to make a cookie on a spoon with a lighter. He was trying to cook it
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
trying to
or bake it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was in
trying to
rehab. They're
Do
trying
you
to get him
think-
off the cookies.
Do you think nowadays that we've grown up and I'm sure the Cookie Monster, you know, technically he hasn't grown up in video, but I think he's grown up. Do you think he's rocking the cookies these days? He's having a little bit of both, a little bit of cookies before his cookies.
I
He's a
think
vegetarian now. This
he
fucker's
might have a line
vegetarian
on
now, bro.
Tao's cookies.
He doesn't even eat real cookies no more, bro. He eats like the vegetable-based cookies, dude. Like seriously, he's a fucking sham. He don't even eat real cookies no more, or the plate.
Do you think
Going
the
back to
Cookie
the-
Monster will eat monster cookies?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Those giant cookies.
A cross that I was just gonna go back to the cereal milk, I guess, strain that I would recommend, even though I haven't tried it. Spartan Grown just grew out Cobra milk, and it comes from somebody that I've literally seen probably 50 recommendations of 50 different people who've only had positive things to say about him, from Tiki Madman. But yeah, the Cobra milk is apparently a really good cross. And I know one half of it, I think it's like God, I wish I remembered what the Cobra side of it was. But yeah,
Cobra?
I definitely
Like a snake?
Cobra milk from
Like a snake. Okay. I was hearing Clover at first.
I was thinking GI Joe versus Cobra. Like,
Oh, see? No.
I was thinking
Dope.
Venom OG or something like. I don't know if that's what, because there's a bunch, it's the only Venom snake
Venom
kind of.
times Durban poison. What I would call that something like that. Do a Durban times Venom poison.
That'd be Black Mamba, right?
Cereal
Black
milk
Mamba. That's a
crossed
black
the
one.
jealousy
I had the black
biscotti pancakes. That seems like a lot going on. Let me see. I'm
Black
plugging on
one.
feedbankclub.com.
see, and I
Okay,
agree with the name
Well,
you said earlier.
I just solved a mystery this conversation, Jack, because earlier tonight I had a plant marked CM in my projects that I've been growing for modern epigenics, which are all strawberry banana reversals. And I told myself I was going to go through the packs to try to figure out what it meant, but it meant cereal milk. And it's called, her strain is called Dragon's Milk, which is cereal milk crossed into straw nana, which, yeah, it's just in veg now, but it's weird how cosmic that is. It's, me asking about cereal milk solved this dilemma I had where I had a plant that I couldn't figure out what the initials even stood for, which was cereal milk crossed into straw nana.
And
Yeah.
third night in a row that you've come on when I was talking about a strain and you had some relation to it. Like I was
Yeah,
smoking
there's
Donny
a
Burger, you were
fucking
smoking
connect.
Donny Burger.
Yeah.
I was talking
Oh.
about cookies, you were smoking cookies.
Psychic
Look into the
energy.
area, Jack. It's not a surprise though.
Psychic energy.
Well, I grew it out myself from a pheno but yeah, I think we all
Well-
independently grew it separately, but
I have like 9 or 10 straw nana crosses. I know one of them's Gary Payton. I know one's Pancakes. I know one's Tahoe Alien. A couple of them, Sarah Milk was one of them. I wasn't sure, but, and now that you guys were talking about how different stories of Surrey Milk, I don't know what variety of Surrey Milk she used in the cross. I'm sure I could find out, but now I'm excited that I have cereal milk too. Because at first I was like, oh, maybe I should try to get some of the cereal milk. Well, even though it's crossed into straw nana, but I have it. And it was the plant that I didn't recognize what the initials stood for. I'm happy.
I'm a pretty big believer, unless it was one that gets totally dominated, which some strains fucking do. But if you hunt through enough of that F1, you'll find one that leans towards mom or leans towards dad, or in some cases mom or mom, because a lot of them are found, right? They're taking two really nice clones and crossing them together, both females.
So I got a question. Like, if you got a round that say was seeded up, and you were trying to pin down where the pollen maybe came from, what process would you go through on that?
Well, look at for plants that shot
Who
out.
got pollinated? That's where I would start. Which plants in the room got pollinated? Was it everybody, or was it just a few? Is it localized, or is it a little bit of seeds and everything?
There were multiple plants in there, but one of them really had the brunt of it, and the other ones all did have seed, but not like there was one that dominantly had seed to it.
And you have
what
like a
was
label
next to it?
Do you think she seeded herself and everything else?
Well, there wasn't necessarily a confirmation of a nanner, so there's not really a visual confirmation of that, but that's kind of the thought is the room was hot and not
Maybe another plant around it.
it was
dumped onto it.
out, and that one threw a nanner and it pollinated all of them. But the one with the majority is thought to be the one that was the culprit.
That's my guess. That'd be my guess.
So then that one would almost be like an S1. It created itself, and then the pollen it shot to other things would be like crosses, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, you know, like, would you look at, because my first thought is, well, how mature are the seeds? Because if it's a late nanner, they're going to be real immature seeds, right?
You'd be surprised.
Exactly.
Sometimes they
Really
fucking get
not.
viable.
Well, it would have really more mature seed to it, right? Especially if it was heavily seeded, it would have had to have some time there to do that, you know?
In your
it's
perpetual,
possible.
right?
It was around longer than you were aware of, and it just, you know, it was some shit in the lower that was behind some leaf. Dude, it literally takes 2 or 3 nanners, which are so fucking tiny, and one nanner could pollinate a whole room. Like a thimble has the thing that works in your benefit is the plants are so fucking sticky and resinous. If they weren't, if it was just like a room full of pistils, essentially, it would pollinate fucking everything. Because pollen flies far, wide, and there's so much of it. And like a cubic centimeter, I think there's like 1 million pollen grains.
Oh yeah,
It's
Well,
a tiny amount.
we all
in
want
an
to see the
indoor
powder
grow.
that's
You're
money
moving the
shot.
air, and you're moving the air, and there it goes. Pollen's being moved everywhere that you're moving the air.
You
Right?
know, you brought up a good point there, Jack, that I've never really I've kind of noted but never really heard anybody else talk about is I believe there is a difference in nanner pollen versus full sac pollen and then finishing quicker. They happen usually a little bit later in flower, and I think they do produce or make themselves a little bit quicker.
Like a more mature seed, is that what you're saying?
Quicker.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
just
2 parts.
finish
Maybe it's the
quicker, I
late
guess.
pollen is like so desperate. It's like the code in that pollen says you've got to fucking work because it knows I'm at like week 7, 8, 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
It's a
the plant is so
survival
mature in
thing.
flower, it can dedicate that energy to the seed because it's like, look, I'm a big hulking juicy lady and I could fucking crank out a single seed real fucking quick late, even though it didn't have as much time. But or I think it's maybe a combination of all three, but I'm just
Both.
throwing shit at the
But I
wall.
like that
I
idea,
think-
Eagle, because that makes
I-
sense that if a late pollen would have like a coating inside it to be quicker because otherwise it
It
wouldn't be
usually
successful.
happens towards the end of the life cycle of the plant. It's that I haven't been seeded yet, usually. Boom. You know what I mean? That last hurrah for survival there.
Yeah, but I would still think there's a development time that has to happen there, just like developing a bud. You know, the plant
Well,
has its cycle to that, and it takes that 6
Mhm.
weeks to fully develop that bud and that trichome. I would imagine it's similar with a seed, right? Like,
well, that's usually a feminine fucking seed too. Do you think there's something in that actually takes a little bit more to produce a male seed?
Absolutely,
versus
because there's only the one
pumping out a
chromosome.
female seed?
Yeah.
That's another good point. So since it's a feminine seed, it doesn't have to code for a Y chromosome. It's only coding for an X, so maybe it can develop a little bit more quickly. That's very interesting. Like, this is all, I'm curious about it. But I think that, like Smiley said, there has to be a period. It's not like it can just happen overnight, like one night, and then you're gonna have a mature seed. No, it's not like that. It might have pollinated 2, 3, 4 weeks earlier, and you just didn't see it, and then it's starting to show up. What up, Modern? Cheers, Modern Genetics.
Otter, what up, man? Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend. I mean, there's nobody involved here.
Yeah, that's what everybody asks the psychotherapist. I'm talking about a friend.
Uncle Trip.
What?
They used to say someone I met swim on the forums. They would type capital SWIM, like someone I met, especially when we were talking earlier about psychedelics. They'd be like, someone I met took a bunch of mushrooms and they were a little worried that something might happen. So what are your guys' experiences when you take 50 grams or something, you know, like crazy
I'm
shit like that?
serious though.
No, I know.
Yeah. I'm just talking in general, and I'm not. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
So
then ultimately,
you have to identify where it
when
came from.
When you grow them out and smoke them, then you get the confirmation because you might be able to tell it, you know, what strain. was
buddy,
crossed
that's the
into it.
worst suggestion. We're not growing out all the seeds to see what's.
I could grow them out for you.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a whatever, you know. I'm just talking, and like a late nanner, in my mind, a late nanner is going to leave a bunch of immature seeds, and that's what I've seen when I've had them. And you know what I mean? I haven't necessarily identified like, oh, looked at a bud while it's still growing. I'm like, oh, fuck, look at that nanner there. I've never been able to catch one like that. So I've always just seen the end results like, oh, fuck, I got, a bunch of little white seeds in here. I must have had a fucking late nanner or something.
That's not necessarily the case. There is something known as apomixis, where the plant can pollinate itself without being pollinated at all. It can create its own seed within itself. And I think that's where a lot of these white seeds, because I've had runs where there was not a single nanner or no thing of pollen. And they produce those tiny, tiny little white seeds. And sometimes they're black. And Ethos calls it like I think he's calling that like an alpha fem or something. But Kyle Breeder messed around with that. He said some old hemp farmer taught him some light cycle trick to like make your plant have apomixis more often. He was trying to do fem seeds, and they'd come out super big and black to see when he was doing it. I don't know why he abandoned it.
How happy were you when you found that fight? Sorry, Jay.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna welcome in. I'm gonna jibber jabbing all night.
Found what?
That fight that he's got there,
Oh, modern.
the hot dog piece.
I was thinking the same shit. I was like, how fucking fitting. How
I was
fucking
gonna say
fitting.
something about hot dogs when you popped in.
I've had on rare occasion in completely seedless runs, batches, and then someone find like one big healthy seed in nice bud,
Right under
but
the
no other
terminal
sign
bud.
of seeds throughout that whole batch and all the other. Nope, but one pop out just out of nowhere.
See, that's what I've always thought of what Jack was talking about, apoptosis. I always thought that was like one or two it would kick out, and that was it, survival.
That's probably what I experienced. I never knew the name, but it's
It's
on a, like I would say it was rare.
apomixis. 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 I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I've only seen it written.
APOM axis.
It's a weird process, and I don't think it happens with like thousands of fruit and vegetables. They do it naturally, and it's like a thing in nature. It's nothing unique to cannabis by any means, but it is interesting. And I think a lot of us who grow sensi or seedless crops, and then you have these random like one or two seeds here and there. I think the preemie seeds are much more often a late nanner that probably wasn't caught, but the dark, well-developed, and like Eagle said in the terminal cola, right in the fucking top bud, sometimes your best bud, and there's like one perfect, beautiful seed, and you're like, what the hell is this? But pretty rarely happens for me. But whenever it does, I'm always kind of scratching my head wondering, did some pollen hang around and kick back up and get it, or was there a nanner? Because a lot of people, I will say, that have had late flower nanners do end up with some mature seeds, like mature enough for them to be poppable, and they end up trying to grow them for one reason or another.
But like a confirmed late nanner was the source, or because like the only herms I've ever seen were like blatantly obvious fucking sacks, right where the male parts would normally be, and there's, what I mean, there are pistils right there and sacks hanging right below. Pretty clear cut. It was a fucking
week 4 to 6.
Yeah, it was like week.
I've had late
That's
nanners that would be in the middle to lower buds, and how you would tell is that there'd be like the bud, there'd be like this little weird flower or dried something, and that would have been the nanner that did its thing. And so many years ago with Deadhead OG had these late nanners, and then it pollinated the Blackwater, and then I never gave any of those seeds away. I probably have some still in a container, but I maybe cracked 10, and I found this one plant, and I called it Deadwater, and I ran that for like 7 years. It was a great plant. People took clones of it. It never had any problem. It wasn't like, oh, this came from a herming and it wasn't good. But reason I never really shared any of those seeds is I assumed that was like a rare thing. I found the one plant that, but the majority of those seeds probably had.
You think that, but then Chef Anna with the pot, or not Chef Anna with the pot, Chef OMJ, they had like, I've told the story a bunch of times, but 7 out of 8 people that grew the dark Ghost Train haze from Rare Dankness had it herm. And then funny enough, our buddy up in Alaska, Buddha Boy, said his dark Ghost Train haze also hermed from Rare Dankness. So there's 8 out of 9 people who grew that strain got herms. The one dude, Chef OMJ, was crazy enough to grow out, like, he had a bunch of seeds of it. So he grew out like 6 or 10 of them. Not a single hermy out of all of them. They're all female. And they're all pretty good. So it's kind of strange that hermy, like begets like,
Yeah.
is often quoted in breeding, but not always. Not always, weirdly enough.
So the telltale.
Well, even
if you
wasn't
grow
the
'em out, you
first
get a boy.
feminized seeds on the market basically made that way before they started using the silvers and all that?
Yes, it was.
And a lot of
And
those
so-
terms, unfortunately.
Some of them did, and some
Yes,
of them
they did.
right?
Yeah, no, you're right. And Brandon Russ bred Limarilla that way with late flower nanner pollen. And he talks about it all the time. He took his Black Lime Reserve and he hermied it intentionally. He would like take stuff way too long into flower, so he would get those nanners if he liked a strain, and then he would cross it onto something that he liked, like Gorilla Glue. That's where Limarilla started with his cross.
Yeah,
there.
like-
But
That's what
Jack-
Bingus does too, I think. Some of that.
Yeah, Jack's Cleaner too was no. Seb always said that day 70, 72, that shit would fucking pop a nanner out. So like that's right around the time you would harvest it. Normally, any later than that, you'd definitely get some
Well,
issues. But
So
I'd
wait,
have to
for
say
arrow, like, a few years behind
2009 to 2015, it seemed like this nanner thing was like a nagging problem on the market, seed breeders, growers. But in
Cannabis.
the last few years, it seems a lot less problems, even with
But-
regulars.
you don't
It's
follow
not-
enough growers, my friend. There's a shit
The
ton of
fucking
hermies still
nanner
running
thing, I
rampant.
think it's
Happened.
kind
Yeah.
of more strain dependent. Some of the more like dainty strains, if you will. And I think as far as the whole nanner thing goes, I've said it the whole time, especially if you're breeding with that nanner, I think there's a big difference in, making a strain, make a nanner early on through stress to produce high pollen. I think there's a difference there than the plant necessarily going full term and making its own nanner. That's a plant's survival, trigger. You triggering it early on through stress or over nutrients, I think that's more of like calling out a weakness in the strain, or you know what I mean, bringing out
Yeah.
the daintiness.
yeah,
I
like
think
you
unless
like a stress test with light or whatever with
search
feminine.
for in the strain. Further on, I think there's a huge difference. I've said fucking for years and years and years. There's a big difference in a hermy that naturally shows, as you've pointed out, Smiley, with fucking pistols and fucking ball sacks, than a nano. You know what I mean? Those are different things there. You know what I mean?
They're
And
different.
nobody points that shit out when they talk about a hermy.
a lot of people also
That's-
don't want to point out a lot of the best shit comes from hermies. Gorilla Glue 4, Sour Diesel, OG Kush, Cookies. The list goes on. I mean, pretty much all hermies.
Our
Yeah.
popular strain
Well,
also came
And
from
you
feminized
can never
seed.
tell what people claim as bag seeds were created from, but probably a good percentage of those were Hermes seeds, and bag seed is legendary as far as things that were found.
Chem Dog being another one.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that hermaphrodite that intersects being like that week 4 to 6, I think we were saying that, and then like that late term, more of the more feminized type of pop, you know what I mean? But then you also, like you were saying, in addition, another technique is hitting that high nitrogen, that high bat guano, whatever, for in week 4 or whatever. So I've, you've heard of both. So like that's why I'm that's just interesting, the different techniques. And like, yeah, like what would you think that the that the high nitrogen, because most people would say that that's a feminized, but then it's at that lower week. But you're
Shit, most indicas, a true indica, if you hit it high, the nitrogen will throw that banana early on like that. And I agree with
Right.
a lot of what you guys have said. A lot of fire strains, unfortunately, do that have that tendency. But I think it would be what are your thoughts on passing it but noting it in the pack? You know what I mean?
You have
This
to.
is a
If you have
fire
any
strain, but no, she likes to feed light.
any
very,
morals,
very light in flower.
I have testers
Well,
out, and I fucking
there's-
tell people that. I have Velvet Punch
there's-
F2, 4 out of 50. Only 4 out of 50. That's less than 10%. If people send out 50 packs and actually have 50 people grow them, I sent out 100 packs. So 50% of the people grew them. Not many people test out 50 packs. I'll say that. A lot of breeders are just going to cross the shit and send it to the market. So most people aren't getting any testing when they're buying some shit on Instagram that they see it's a hype strain crossed to a hype strain from fly by night breeder X, Y, or Z. If you're seeing people that are just copycatting other people's genetics, then let's see how much testing they've actually done. Where's their testing squad? Where are the pictures? You're seeing packs being sold without a single photo of an unpollinated bud. People are selling packs with the pollinated bud shots. It's like,
Like my wiener, Jack?
what? Only green
Oh,
fingers.
everything.
I like them darker.
Hey,
It's got a big
as
hole
you're
in
saying all
everything
that, Jack,
there.
it brings to mind my good friend who's like, I even tell him, you're rolling the dice, buddy. But everything I've cracked that comes out of this guy's straight fire. And even though he barely tests, he's just throwing all fucking so many things together, right? Masonic, but fuck, somehow he's like puts out nothing but fire and doesn't really have shots to back up a lot of those things. And yeah, but
You just don't see the people that he blocks that have a bunch of fucking
Well,
Hermes.
Yeah, maybe there's that.
I have 15 people who've complained to me about that specific guy that hermied their entire garden and ruined everything, cost them thousands worth of dollars. So, I mean, he doesn't even give any warning to anybody because the testing hasn't been done. So if you want to support that,
he does.
Warning, though. He says exactly what he's doing. He's like,
yeah.
tells
No,
you
he
right
doesn't
now,
hide what he's
they're
doing.
untested. They're fucking this much a pack, and if you want them, you can fucking have them. He's not.
And he shows you right in the backyard where he does it. It shows, and even
no,
that.
I've seen him doing it for years. Trust me, I haven't bought a single pack.
No, I haven't either, Jack. But I'm just saying, like, at least he is up front and like saying, "Hey, I'm not testing these. I'm not doing nothing with them."
Yeah, and there's
I think more people are hyped
tested
on his. He got popular, I think, on meme spreading, and a lot of the younger culture that he's selling to follow him and really like him because he's got a clothing brand. He's a very kind and generous person in the community. I respect him as a human. I just don't know that I can support the kind of like. I personally believe that some level of testing should be done, but that's not for everybody. That's fine. You release them and you tell people it's untested. They're playing with fire. It could be actual fire. This is like one of my same problems with Thug Bug. A lot of their shit's really killer, but they also have a pretty high propensity of herming. My shit's herming, so I'm not trying to stand on some moral thing, but I'm not selling seeds for a goddamn penny. Every single person who's gotten a seed from me has got it for free.
I rolled
didn't pay
with
shipping,
for
didn't pay
5
shit.
years, right? And holy moly, I mean, people were saying, "Hey, this shit's herming and shit." He like stood on the ground that it wasn't. It had to have been the growers. I mean, I saw that, and then it hit me like 5 years into, like it fucking almost wiped me out. And yeah, even though there was a lot of fire in there, there were a lot of plants that had issues.
I think we all have to accept every single plant can herm. If you can take it and feminize it, it can herm. You can take STS, silver thiosulfate, and reverse a plant. That's making it herm. That's how feminized seeds are made. And they stress test the best mothers if they're doing it right. And that'll make, like you said, you'll see less nanners and good breeders because these guys take and stress test the shit out of these things for years and years and years. Or it's been a clone that's been around for a long time that has no propensity to herm. It's been grown in 100 different people's gardens. They've been running it hard for years and years. Production thing. And it works well for them. So if you feminize that clone that's been worked, it's different than whatever hype cookies thing just came on. Cookies can't even sell seeds because they don't breed their shit. It's just whatever Hermes on to whatever else. their only CPAC drops they've ever had were extremely unsuccessful. Candy Rain had a bunch of mutants and Hermes, and they sold them for like $500 to $800 for a 20-pack. And the other one, London Pound Cake, admittedly is successful. Claps to you guys. You guys made $1 million selling 1,000 packs.
Candy
Fuck off,
Rain
cookies.
Candy Rain was like 90% fucking males, and the guys
Runts,
they
Herms,
spent like $800
mutants.
a pack, and they got
Yep.
all males out of it, no female at all.
I got some candy lands too.
That brings me back to an argument we've had, not that we're not running out of time, an argument that we've had that environment or something like that plays a little bit into breeding, you know, as far as what weighs out male female ratio. I don't think it's a 50-50 draw. I've said that for a long time too, man. I don't think it's a 50-50 draw. I think that there's a recipe there for a good male to female ratio, or, you know, vice versa, a heavy male. Because I refuse to believe in some of the germinations that it's just my shitty luck that everybody else got 10 out of 10 females, and then I got the luck out of the draw where I fucking got a bunch of fucking dicks. I think that's ain't, you know what I mean?
My experience with regulars over the long, I'd either say 60 or 70, maybe up to 70%. Like, not really keeping numbers right, but just in my head, like female to male. And I've never been like less than 50% the other way.
I don't want
And
to talk
I've
about
cracked a
herbs,
lot
no
of
more.
packs of
We don't want to
regular
talk about
seeds.
herbs no more.
My last few runs have all been
Hey,
50, all been
is
50.
anybody going to Big Cloud Farms a week from now?
Right here.
That's
Let's do
Okay.
next.
Yeah, me and Red High Rustlers going.
Is that on the 2nd, or is that coming up, or is that on the
Yeah, it's
That's
the
the
9th.
9th through the
Well, it's the
12th.
9th,
That's where
10th,
Mendo's
11th.
it's the next
got
Saturday?
off keys. Yeah.
Yeah, 9th, 10th, and 11th. I thought maybe you might have had a booth there, Smiley.
No.
No. Well, it
They're
ain't that far for
expensive
you.
there. Them booths are expensive.
Huh?
Booths get expensive, man.
I know they do. I say it all the time. Fuck, you gotta sell that product just to pay for the fucking booth, and then try to make money on top of that.
Yeah, it gets stupid.
Gotta hope you fucking break even. I've
Well-
heard many a time people struggle just to make that booth cost back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Well, it's not even like you get like a premium price either, really. It's still the fucking same price. You know what I'm saying? You just paid to have the audience. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
Hey, you know me. I don't
a lot
go
of them,
to
they're
buy
throwing
any of
so many of them too that it's like people, they don't draw the people, but they'll have, you know what I mean, 50 fucking vendors there for 100 people or whatever. It's like
Well, me, Red Eye Rustler, and Eagle will be there.
yeah, I'm planning
I-
that one on the
I think Detroit was supposed to go.
is Mendo Dope's coming in town too, right, Eagle? It's Mendo Dope.
Yep. Cottonmouth Kings. I believe CJ Apple might be up there.
Mendo Dope's coming to town for that event.
Yep.
They're supposed to play it.
I don't know if they're playing or not, but I know
I
they're
don't-
judging.
Or maybe they're just judging.
They better be playing. What the fuck? I
Right
hope,
now, how they gonna get all the way here to Michigan and not play fucking two and shit?
I hope
I
they
didn't know they were going. They don't advertise that they're playing, so
Find
so
out.
they ain't playing.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, find out. It's gonna be on the but they're gonna be there all weekend or not.
hopefully, man. Yeah, they are judges. I've seen that. They're on the judges list. So it's a cop. The entry was like August something to enter for it.
That's cool. I'm gonna get off here. I know you're gonna shut down. Yeah, happy 420, people. Peace out.
Good seeing you, Modern.
Later on, Modern.
Cheers, Modern. Have a good one, brother. Thank you for popping
Talk to
in.
you soon.
Thanks for showing us your wiener.
Yeah.
It's a nice weeder, isn't it?
It
I
is.
thought it'd be bigger.
I'm sorry. I tried.
It's the same size as mine. So.
You just look.
This is a little meteor.
You just have
Yeah.
buttons around it. Mine just.
Do we add
Yeah.
Eagle to the Flasher hit list now? Because Modern jumped on flashing his wiener.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I wonder if just saying that just triggered, you know what I mean? Triggered the algorithm and shit. Well, yeah, fucking right, restrict that shit. Somebody
Right.
show their wiener.
Nipple gauging and fucking wiener showing and
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. There you go. That completes
Darth
it.
Vader helmet.
It does look like Darth Vader from the back, bro. It's straight Darth Vader. Look at that.
You have the fulls.
The balls is the bowl, so a little set.
Yeah, you
Small
got
thing.
where couple
Too fun. This is
The
my
pipe.
Darth Vader part.
Darth Vader pipe from right there.
Dark
Just the
helmet.
dark side.
right.
Completely the action.
Had some smart ass thing too. You guys were talking about being in a simulation or whatever, and I forget what it was now. Now I'm too stoned. I was like,
Ooh.
I was like, no, I can know. There's this way we can know that we're fucking not in a simulation. But now I forgot what it was. But I don't think we're in a simulation. I think we can
I agree.
But
I don't think we
what
are
is
either.
the push for the data then? You know what
They
I
want to
mean?
collect all
Why?
the data so they know where we
Business,
are, so they
money.
can get our money. Yeah, they want to advertise to us,
all
tell us
about money.
shit, know where we are for security reasons too. They want to spy on our ass.
It's
If we're gonna do
deeper
some
than
goofy
that.
ass terroristic shit, they want to look at you. The Patriot Act, man. Look at when that shit came around. We lost all of our fucking rights and freedoms.
Government fear of us because we're more than they are, and that's why
And
they look at
most
everything.
of the data collection is to sell us stuff at this point. It can change, but at the moment
Guys
they're
are-
trying to sell us
it's-
I
stuff.
would broaden that to say it's to manipulate.
Best case.
Well, let's say this.
Yeah.
Even if it's a simulation,
That's
try
the
your best to
best
be the fucking
case.
best at it. Win the simulation. Be a good person. Help each other out. Be a decent human being. If it is a simulation, if we're the Sims, fucking show whoever else is observing. Even if you want to make it religious, whatever spiritual thing that is looking down on us, prove to them that we can fucking be good to each other. So often, there's
Well,
infighting
what's
and
free
bullshit.
will if it's a simulation? Then why do we have free will? Like, why are we able to do what we choose to do? Or if we're so controlled, if it's such a computer game, like we're little bots, like that doesn't make sense to
Some
me.
would argue how much free will we do have.
How much
It
free
depends
will-
where
how
you're
much free will-
born.
Sure,
Like,
I mean,
if you were
you're
born into
super influenced by all your commercials and you believe in all that, you know what I mean? But we all eat mushrooms. A lot of us do. A lot of us smoke cannabis. A lot of us understand that you can break that cycle and you can, you know what I mean? That's where the free will comes into play. You can choose whether or not to follow along with the stream, or you can choose whether or not to make your own decisions and break out of that cycle, or that, if you want to call it a simulation or whatever. I agree with Smiley. I don't quite. I mean, I respect the people
Your
that
choice
do
makes
believe.
it the sim. Your choice makes it the sim. You are the option. You are the wild card in the scenario. You know what I mean? It's your choice that makes you the sim. It's your reaction they want to know, so it can know how to react to any scenario.
I certainly
I
think
don't
we-
necessarily.
That'll
I don't
be-
think I.
That'll
we're
be
in a
the
sim,
purpose. You'll
but-
have
but-
robots soon that will be so
Uh,
intelligent, and it's based off all the internet of things. It's not. You say like, oh well, it's advertising. It's not just advertising. Do you understand what your phone alone is collecting on you? It isn't fucking. It's how your finger hovers over your screen. It's what it hovers over. It's, what you do on your phone, your reactions. You know what I mean? If it wasn't to tell you things, it doesn't need to know why your finger's hovering over one of your apps or any some point.
Which one are you going to click? This one or that one?
Yeah.
So
Do you want the red sweater or the blue sweater? Oh, now you hovered over the blue one. We're going to market you the blue sweater a lot more. Or when they talk about tube socks and then they advertise your tube socks, like they're trying to get you to buy shit. But a lot,
I don't believe we're innocent.
The non-free will.
But technology is creating a thing where we're like creating that type of environment for ourselves. Like, yeah, I guess if you live in the computer and interact in a certain way, and more technology advances, it's
you could never leave your house. You could DoorDash everything. You could work from home, and you could only ever interact like this if you wanted to. Like you're saying, that's kind of fucking crazy.
And a lot of it isn't just marketing. Yeah, they like to predict what human behavior is going to be. And the best way to do that is gather as much data on human behavior.
My best way to describe this to you guys is, okay, let's say we do develop a supercomputer, okay, that is super intelligent. It can figure out just about anything. Don't you think at some point it will run, say, a dinosaur age sim? You know what I mean? Fucking release the dinosaurs and watch the data on them to see their reactions with everything in the environment. They could also start releasing cavemen, just like everything else. What's his reaction to now the dinosaurs? You know what I mean? It wants to replay or figure out.
IA is going to be able to do.
You know what I mean?
Forget the dinosaurs. They'll be
it's no different than to say that we've been released to figure out this point in time. Cheers.
It all goes to the math equations, and like, yeah, next thing you know, these IA computers are going to be able to solve the math equations that lead to all the innovation that we can't get to, because it all math, isn't it?
Same supercomputer as we figure out and dig up these missing links of time. You know what I mean? These human figures that we dig up, like Lucy and shit, that necessarily doesn't make sense. Now they go to that point in time and start releasing a bunch of Lucys. You know what I mean? To just figure out, you know what I mean? That loss and that gap in the fucking, human evolution, basically. You know what I mean? We're discrediting what a supercomputer really could do or figure out with a sim type fucking, algorithm. It could be fucking a sim that's trying to recreate the past or future.
Like I think the Sims or the AIs and all that shit are only going to be able to do is we still create the algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
I think we underestimate us into what you're saying. I think we underestimate us, like what you're saying, Smiley, like, because like, our
hive mind, all of us combined.
We have the best. Yeah, we have the best.
We're not there yet. We're in the Matrix phase 1. We're in the precursor of everything I just said.
So I would say this. I wouldn't necessarily disagree of a simulation. I wouldn't put it that way, but if you would think of it like if we are a spirit or in a fourth dimension being a spirit, right? In a third dimension body, that's sort of like a simulation, right? If you know what I mean?
DK just brought up a funny point. Out of the simulation theory. Thank you, DK, for that, for throwing in the STD fucking factor. If you were all Sims, why would they randomly give out STDs to people and shit?
Just like when we would play the Sims and people fuck with them.
The homie, hell yeah.
That's just real life. I don't think Sims would go, all right, let's make sure.
I think it's healthy to have all these different opinions, man. Like I love it. I love that everybody has like a little bit of a different thought on it, because you know what I mean? Like we talked about it earlier in a chat, and You know what I mean? If we all thought the same thing, it'd be, you know what I mean? That's where we grow. You know what I mean? Like that's where we find what we think, you know, what we may think is true or whatever. But like, it doesn't mean that
It'd
it
be
is.
boring
It
if we all
doesn't mean
believe
that
the same
it is
shit.
true, right? It doesn't mean that it is true just because we believe it's true. I mean, we can have all sorts of facts, but who really knows?
Yeah, and that's what's
Right.
great about our
Fun
community.
conversation.
But like in general, out in the
Beautiful.
world, people are so divided on their positions they can't even have discussion, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's fine to have a
like,
differing opinion.
everyone's like behind, not open to discussion. Without that, then
You know
like,
why? It's because people are like he was saying earlier, we all smoke cannabis and we're open-minded. A lot of people are closed-minded, and the best way to create the future
well,
is to
not
make it
necessarily
yourself.
those people were closed-minded. The system, even what Eagle's talking about, has created that. Like,
For-
you know, they
forces.
like there's
Yep.
the story that like even Facebook realized what's the best way to get user or
Traffic.
traffic was conflict, was divisiveness, right? Oh, that's better than this, that, and the other. They, at first they used this, that, and the other, and then they came across the reality that, oh, you want to really get action, get them divisive. And now so many years of it, people are like, can't even talk about basic shit amongst each other. You know what I mean?
Good to be tolerant. That's what we're taught, you know what I mean, at a young age, to be tolerant of one another, and that's what they taught us or whatever. But like,
So I just want to say it's not because you pissed me off in this conversation or nothing. It's just time to go.
No, I was gonna say
It's past the 420.
conversation.
Well, you definitely
Well,
laid some food for thought out, Eagle. That's what it's about.
yeah, buddy.
Peace and love,
Much love.
everybody.
Yeah,
Good one, Jack.
Thanks, Eagle. Have a good one, man.
yeah, Eagle. Thank you, Eagle.
Out, everybody.
Later on,
Well,
Smile.
Later, Smiley. Falling out so fast. Night, blind cat.
Later on, brother. Good night, everybody. Later on, chat.
Cheers, Blanket.
Later on, bro.
Johnny, can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is it just me?
No, I thought he was talking, but I thought he was pretending to talk. I thought it was like, but it was for real. I couldn't hear shit. I was like, hold on, what the fuck?
Nothing, Johnny.
Just the crickets in the background of my shit.
Nothing, Johnny. If you're on your computer, you should be able to click
can you
on
hear
the.
me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
there we go.
I leaned up against this and turned it off.
Ah, there you go.
So I'm learning, All right, guys. So peace and love always. Eagle, thanks for having us on here. I'm glad I was able to be heard tonight. It was a first for a little while. So
It was nice.
awesome.
It was nice.
See you guys later. Green
Have a
fingers.
good one, brother.
Peace, love. Okay, how do I do that?
You
This is
just
different
click
on this.
The end, there you go.
I love that shit. Man, I was so offended that I didn't get to like make everybody believe my bullshit's the realest bullshit. My God's more real than your guys' God. The weed nerd God for life. All right, guys, go plant some seeds. Love you, Eagle. Fucking weed nerd for life.
But have a great day, brother. I'll see you tonight, probably.
Have a great day.
For the rest of you guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode, this conversation. I know I have. It's always fun hanging out with these guys in the Weed Nerd world. And I do, man, I say this a lot, man. Out of all the endeavors I've done in my life, this is one of by far the most things I'm most proud of. And hopefully it will become some sort of legacy at some point. But Yeah. When I speak of you guys of the show, We Nerd World, I most definitely light up like a light bulb and speak like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kid about you guys and this project. So, with that being said, it is time to go. I am going to ramble through these shout outs. I cannot not do them. Miss two. You guys know how I feel about that. You got to be grateful. You have to be verbal about it. You have to fucking. So, doesn't matter if you speak it in the shower, on your way to work, if you want to do it in front of your friends, family, or whatever. But do be grateful. Say you're grateful. Verbally. And watch things happen. With that being said, we're going to shoot at this with Salvia. Well, no more. Sub cool, these house name, I'm lost up 10-7. Well, lost up 10. Scarecrow 420, Christina, MG 89, Outplug 705, Medical, McCall, Cuddy, Rick T, Webber 9G2, 07, Fabian, Salinas, Dave's not here, Dave. Tom Spook, Greg Walker, Mendo Dope, T-Dog, Dung Beetle, Red Eye Jedi, Growls, Mother Nature, Justin Conway, Duckweed, Run Boy 7426, Justin Goodard, Stain Man, Okie Grower, Corey Trevor, Mike Wall, Smoke Bishop 420, Hoosier Cat, Eddie Taco, Rick S. Don, Slut, Rick S. Man, I'm fucking this up. In the Bushes 827, Jane Simmons, Kevin Hahn, SO Pats Fan 425, Benjamin Jergo, Canna Shiva, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Dan Gallo, Dr. Los Laker, S10. Sub 10 Canoe, Candy Queen Genetics, Savvy Tanan, Say Commodore, Dirt Man Dan, Keith the Black Sales, Mr. Bosillas, Linker, Ross Bob, Ross and Jeff, Small Toots, Small Soil Roots, Small Toots, Soil Roots, right? Tyler, Foster Buds, Norm, Michigan, Michael, Ouija Buds, Detroit, Nick Jar Groves, AC, Modern Genetics, SoCal, Wiener, John Lasky, G15, Green County Grower, CJ Apple, Perfectly Imperfect, Dollar Tree Growers, T1 Productions, Day Grower, DOA Grow Meds, Miss Duty Grows, I Gruesome, Johnny Candy, Nutrient Shootout, Sonny, Nicky, Zoe, and Simmer, and Nutty, Pixel Monkey, St. Bernard's Observation Booth, Cold 420 High Spy, St. Bernard's Observation Booth. Aldridge 25, Miss Magic Cheese, Stu Moon, Mo Grower, Candy Great, Loki Grows, Sussex Guy Burton 79, Polish Hammer, Midwest Outlaws 31, Voodoo Outlaws, Fresno Nerds, Cali Grown, Wolverine Grower. Dang, excuse me. Jimmy One for Life, Laid Wayback Farmer, D Block MMP, Nation, looks like Dylan Warlock, Artist LD. Mr. Sticky, Rob, Big Dave, Brett Window, G3, The Green Click, JK Triple G, Mr. Sprinkley, Brittany, Patrick, Hope Farms, Lisa G, John Beach, Crazy for You, PGWG, 420, Dr. Rothwell, Purple OG, Anthro, Sons of Media, Anthro, Just Face, 420, Beach Coast, Quarter, Sir Hal, Drape Alone, Keep It Real, Haggerton, 420, Subside, One Audit, Everywhere, BTW, Girls, Mangus, Green Buffett, man, Alice Boy, Jeff, South Life School of Tropicals, I Love It, Green Mountain Grower, Southwest, Okie, Real, 100, 212, Andy Man, Marion, Family Farmers, Page Farmers, Meow Flower, Ryan Henderson, Green 13, Noob Seba, Wins, King Black, Rondets, Dreamer 77, Double D, Bad Bunny, Nutrients, Mr. Green Pots, Mr. Green Hill, 619, 664, Spaniard, Kruger, Jones and Grow, Pop G, Grows, Raz, Amy, Cass, The Grow From Air Podcast, Lily Luna, The Green Ben Flock, Jeremiah Miranda, Stony Creek, Lost Art, Mr. No One, LG, Giant Mike, I don't know why I keep throwing that one in. Prometheus, so Jason Ice, so Pete Wynn, David, Colby, Mason, 662, Scroggy, Big Scroggy, to the North, Cottage Rose, Kelly Burrows, Chad Brad, Family Farms, Paul E, B or Kevin Joe, J, Mike Honcho, Jay Huggins, UDA, Green Tree Hunter, Kush Cloud, Joshua Scenes, and Organic Home Buds, Warren Nelson, Cam Wood, Maine, Mystic, Show Love, Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Sargis, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy, 311, Wakes Up Kinder, Grows Up, Green Haze, G Friends, Tree MMJ, Jitse Vault, Dragonfly B, Justice Man, Travis Walls, Lucky Mike, Seattle Chronic Seeds, King Chronic, Titan Plus, Ghost Seeds, Shango Gas, Master Floyd, John Smith, Tommy, Trichome, Spoken King, Raz, Slammy, Raz, Pop Little, Oscar Green, Junior Man, Silver, into 11, Stephanie Sovereign Garden, Solar Nation 420, Joe White Bucks 1313, Girl Painted Lady, Frank Blue, Matt S, Slow Roll, Spiky Pilot, Jay Meyer, Jamid, the Jab, Mr. D, Mr. Vanny D, Bag Seed, Dr. G. GC, Jeff Shredder, 9011, Dutch Gross, 420, Skill Gold 1, Bet Gold 1, Empire Breaker, Rolly, Lost Leaf. Back up from Rolly, man. Thank you for that cookie, man. That's and the lotion. Thank you, brother. Much respect. Lost Leaf, yeah, man. Standing Danko, B-Bear 7, Allie Noble, CK, Tom Trinidad, Looney Justice, Smoking with Small Town, Tim S, Mr. Lazy. Raptor Grows, Rob on Mission is Freedom, Robert Hazelton, Michigan Core, Double Tap Arms, Mr. Green Thumb, 420, 808, Rudy Foxplex, Cicada Bus Driver, 8 Life, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, T-Ben, TM 420 69, Rude Nuts, 619, Dr. Trambo, Speed Baby, Moon Rocks, GHF, Double J, Bio Green, Stealth Road 56, Hanky Sinky, 420, OGKP, Gods and Nana, Your Mama, Georgia, Joy, Roy Rodriguez, B Growing, Nature's Best Nugs, Killer B Grows, Ganja Wizard, Husky Guards, Nut Trade 420, Dr. Hughes, Soul 4 Life, Bully 4 Life 420, the Jeff Pro 420 69, Beta 698, Dr. Franklin Movie, goddamn, I make that test. The Riffin' Fat Boy, Jack Green, Sock 420, Boom 420, Boone's Farms, Charlie Farms 420, Aldridge 25, Smiley's Gardens, JT's Misty's Nugs, Smoking Grove Frazier, Rokoski, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm 420, Jeff Jarowski, Genetic Memory Farms, Wall 420, Cameron, Mr. Bag C, Jill Carter, Mystic Marks, Mystic Grower, Ginger Snap, CTE, Rose, Rick Wolf, Ned Denver, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pepper 420, Ken Trooper, Blanket 420, Light It Up Again, Tim UKSIF, Good Boy, Deb Shipwreck, Medical MJ, Budsville, USA, Resurrection, Prophet, Chris Martinez, Tara Wilson, Dave Van Dan, Dave Man 420, Red Center Farms, Good Luck, Joni B, Chase Joni Bell, Cheetah Me, there we go, Most Handy Growers, the American one, W. Digger 7.4, Sarates, Kenny Olsen, Mountain Skies, ready to hit the Outby, Chris Mertz, Ian Save, Robbie Terson Live, Have a Fake Camp, Bridge Patch, Dozer Moons, Other PT Grower, Juice Medical, Jerry Bear, Plus One Mushroom, Secret City Pioneers, My Little 10, 2042 Spacewalker, Christian, Tree Mump, T. Barrington, Arkansas, Homegrown, Mike B, T. Dwayne, East Coast Will, Heidi Day, Laughing Garden, John Smith, Liptis, My Natural Farm, Specific Liquid Seeds, Ross Cobb, Paul, Lemon, Hoko, Trench, Rita's Juicy Life, 420 Grand Menu, Mary Bond, Sammy Sizzle, 9 Inch Colas, Chris Move, DK Trade, Vision, Breeder, Kind Brew, Cannon Nation, JJ Wires, Lucky E, Claudie Goslin, Mountain World, Green Gorilla, CT Gardens, Benny Bend, Up Enable, Mr. Mark Drew, Kush Turbine, Sentimental, Green Goddess, Alberta's Cannabis Grower, Earth Creeper, Don Hazel, Mendes, John Gold, Cooper, Robert Rittenhouse, Pedro Dizzy, Joey Berger, Mr. DeVille, Mikey from Maui Gold Genetics, that's who I was referring to earlier, Maui, Michi, Day 7, Dragonfly, Earth Medicine, Thunder Dan, San Luis, Sun Grown, Super Bob, Dutch Gross, 420, Tough Impact, Mr. Tree Judge, Green, Gypsy 1, DAS 24730, Rotten Imbecile, Steady Gains, Ginger Bug, Sovereign A, Paco Paco, Smartphone, Beat Ridley, Val F, Tough Impact, Previously People Doing Stuff Well, Wait, I, Multiple Division, Patio, Bears Growing Up, Home Invaders, Getting No Fucking Wood, Pity, Lucas Gardens, Weed Nerd, DWC, Shorty for Life, Token Pirate, Brittany Nicole, Sacred Darts, Russell Clutch, Joey One Love, Mr. No BS, Penny Pepper Burgers, Rippers, that is, Frank Rowdy 420, Chef J Reese, Dog Day Gardens, for Reed, Big Force 54, 420 Green Goddess, Cell, Pearly Baker, Christ, Strike, Jungle, Diggity Dangle, The Beastly, Laura Camp, Swimmer 22, the Grow Boss, Jim Plumber, NB Closet, Lord, Blinded by the Light, We Fairy, and Chrono, Miss Fishy, Stock House, Mr. Toad, Uncle Rick, Mr. 12, Cassie, Pirate Bear, Mr. Lamarck, Leafly Hill, Handicap, BK, Urban Green, Red Dragon Brothers, Journey Over Grower, Dab Hunter, JG, GML, Leafly Wiggly, the Canna Man, High Type 420, BG, the Humble Local 2.0, Nick D, Hey Good Fire, Zachary G, Sayer Wolf, BU, Eddie Alvarez, Turf Wizard, Basement, Jones, S. Dot, Jonesville, MK Ultra, Chilbert, CK, Brandon Harris, 710, Canna, Fernino, Fisherman, Hemp Knights, Cottonmouth, Roll, Icy Cole, Sterling Moss, DK Trace, Driving Miss Hazy, Herb Conscious, Woody J, Rory, Dugan, Marijuana King, Ganja Ninja, Holla What You Want God, Justin Houdini, Big Blazer, Brian Kowalski, Marcus Green Thumb, 420 Bit, A No, Weed Monster, Roll, Quiet One, Who Be Growing Doobies? They do, did you hear this? Thunder Dan, or Dan the Indoor Man, sorry, hands up there. Gromies, homies, Hamilton, Grown, Clip, Smoking, Keystone, Canna Flag, BAB Guide, 710, Eugene Greeley, Face True, Hustle, Friend, Eric Collins, North Arizona, Beat Grove, 20, No Solid, Jesse White, God, Saint Yeti, Introvert, Next, Social, J, Vixen, Robin, Mr. Killer, 8 Mo, James Buttercream, C Dub from NorCal, the Pharmacy, C, Baked Deadhead, Smoke, 616, Curtis Mahan, Matt Meyer, and Morte, Rick Heyman, Stephanie Dorian, Tennessee, Zeb Kears, Hey, Mark Rubels, the Drew Beer, 420, Maxi, 7541, Lawrence Gonzalez, Slow to Get Up, Hot Stew, Lou, Pop Girl, 719, Big Wish, Hey, Baby, Old Smoke, PWC, Grow Buzz, Laura Wash, Mr. Reed, Blunt, Old School, Growa, Chad Westport, Honcho, Grow, Florida Nugs, My Little Piece of Heaven, Roots South Seeds, Collide, Grow, Richard T, Crispy Wannabe, Mr. Soul Food Spectrum, Gone God, Laurie Hanson, Real 2,000 Years of Tradition, Mr. D. Conley, Pim Jam, Bodie, Bay, Show Me Sasquatch, Fuck Google, and Google, Born Royal Canadian Farmer, Canadian Restore, that is, Porter, from Paul Wright, Sefner, Humble Farm, Tannery Farm, Sullivan, Zeno, Parker, Sale, 972, Skunk Bass, Martial Artist 2012, Michael Slade, Hafner, Dana McDizzle, Medical Fit, KGB, Robert, Mr. Green Fingers, Motherfucking Tom Joe, Thomas, Robert, Mr. Green Fingers, Motherfucking Thomas, there we go. Rancho Costa, Plenty, sorry, Robert. Monkey Balls, Andrew Chappie, Bobby Glenn, Means, Trench and Digger, Mr. Mac, Tony Like Baloney, Bill S. Sweet Peas, Tanner Delicious, Minty Country, Roots, you're on fire tonight, Surge Creeper, Big Ray 420, TE 101, Bugs and Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Peter, Peter, Powers, Not Love, North, Max Groom, and Ruby. Oh, double flip there. Timothy, Mickey Mintz, Neo, Justin Beans, Chronic Idiot, Fat Melon, Real, Jennifer Steele, Canvas 03, Turf Farmer, Carlitos, Latinas, Skater, Country, Mrs. Speed, Wolfstein, Firesaw, Wally, Wookie, The Goddess Grows, Ross and Bob, White Feather Grows, Burton's Room, Tone Grows, Zane, D-Man Grows, BX Gun 81, Smith, New Grow, Sean McCann, Jay, Milk City, Contenda, Walla Walla, Canna Grow, Bulldog, Huron, Kansas Council, Listen, Bear, Rock Man, Justice Wait, 420, Bin, Fresh Herb, Thriving, Fresh Grow, Thriving Herbs, High Boy, UAMA Grows, Weavy Growing, Australian Grow, Love with the Glen, Argo, American, Smile, Poke, Ground, Frozen, Caveman, Wise, High, Surf Crab, Michael, Groove, Jeff Longfells, Mobius, Ghost, Tank, Brownies, D&D, Elliot, Harkins, Mystic Flavor, The Forging Gardener, Overwater, Overkill, Seattle Sea, Shadow Warrior, Valley Green, 514, Amelia, Jensen, Authentic Conductor, MJ Coco, Brandon Russ, Matthew Gates, East Bags, Drone Star, Shotgun Willie, Dave Yoda, Jay Simmons, Drew, Bro Grows, Black Abyss, GG Conley, Air, The Grower, Light 1978, Michigan Grown Bud, Joe Boy, World Delta 9, Jay McDaniels, Black Abyss 420, Stinky Cola, still inside for PFC Farms, House and Gardens, J. Joe, J420, Cascadian Rose, Tito's, McGee, 4 Plants, 8, Weed Works, Captain Frog, Funky Buds, Hans Warrior, Jackie Young, Terry Live, Guess, and Tempe, Annie, Plus, Green Goose, 11 Smiles, 11 Bintu Bloods, Lion Rossville, Plenty, Bruce City, Sin, Wise Estate, Midnight's, Roots, Stetson, Snuggles, Michael P, Polly B, Quick, Be Nimble, Buddy, Kilowatts, Michael D, 4889, Disbanded Brothers, Macelia, Man, Joseph, Grace, Medicine, RX, Keith and Chief, Hydro, Daily, Concern, American Cannabis, 411, Freedom and Sweet, Stocking Joints, Work, These Trees, Gotcha, Center, Good, 710, is upside down, Jesse Simmons, Victoria, Paducci, Canna, Butterbabe. What about Bob saying Gardens, West Coast, Slick McGee, Doug Brown, David St. Louis, Watts, St. Yeti, Ed Grin, and then Grown Up Off Grid Terps, Christopher, Big Force 15. Last Predator, Myth, Matthew, SoCal, Super, Man, Jig Brooke, Genetics, Third Horse, Genetics, Solar, Joe, Jennifer, North Star, Genetics, Hairland, Mr. Drive, PTA, E13, Leo, Brute, Perfection, XX Elite GP, XX Uncle, Solar, Chris Retreat, Kitchen, Growers Paradise, LAD Grown, I see Decoy Bacon, Mrs. Scott, the First Rate, 1, J. Allen, Big Bob Groves, Sally Canna, Australian Girl, Chuck 420, Daniel Phil, Mr. Nowhere Man, Selling Sally, Silly Seashells, Richard Forbes, David Pimenta, B4, P-Funk, Nick T, John Reese, What About Bob, Prince Petty, Daniel Bergman, Green Puffin Man, B.W. James Strong, Sergeant Groves, A18, John Wayne, Carolina Roots, Sister Golden Hair, Dana L, Dana Reno, KNF, Garden, White 1030, Choose One Only, B, Farmer James, Crypto Dope, Richard Lamb, HIP, Grower, Matt Javine, Dan Marino, Chronic Wonder, Sunrise Gold, Top Floor, Next Low Vision, 420, King, 2 Cannabis, Jesse Fisher, My Dog Delia, Roosty Farms, Alex Hardy, Hardy Gear, Betty Cropper, Daniel Gross Photos, Benton Grown Med, Sunrise Glows, Lexi, Brittany, Koo, and Chase. I love you guys more than anything. No Limit 916, Croak Be Toad, Alchemist, Canna Make, Soul, Lauren Addiction, Roscoe, Alex D, Dirt Dog, Catfish, High Power, Thunder Dan, Propagation Station, John B. Daniels, Lisa Marie, Sergeant Goes 818, Blaine, Silly, Fried Viper, Perpetual, Eagle Pride, Warrior, Sales, Smash, Warrior, you, Frank Sato, The Dank Dutch, Kino, Kelly Maxwell, Captain 420, Frank Casado, The Sea Track, What About Bob, Ill Justin, Pops Room, John Gorski, Jen Doe, Dungeon Gangster, THC4, PTSD, PT Barrington, Country Roll, Swamp Cat, Valero, Canna Beakup, Bisa, Busta, Because, John Doe, Mr. Randy D, Canna Ferrari, 428, B, Narrow, Normal, Frank Guerrero, Bearfeet, Jay Brad, 74, CK, Brown Guy, 420, Pachyderm, 420, Burning Tree, Maine, Gray, Sungrown, 207, Hydro Daily, Hemp with GT, Jamie Ream, Supreme Grape, Sony, Rockefeller, K-Band, Cannabis, Wow, Bobby John Benz, Rescue Ready, LLC, Notorious Nugs, Bagging with Seeds, Father and Son, Trimming Tutorials, FT Jose Perez, Dog with the Hut, 420 Buck, Jibo Man, GR 420 Community Videos, Detroit Rubber, Lucy Garcia, Buck B, AJ Everyday, Captain by Audit, 10 about 13, Maine, 420 Matador, Cookies, Scoop, Jake Hendricks, in for the grill, Backwoods, all good, Sally Man, Sound, Adam Sagan, Janelle Simpson, One Smoke, Wake, Guys, Rolls, Kazoo, Aaron Vernon, Truth, Miss Lincoln, Stinkin', Asian Studios, MG, the 420 Grow Time, Paul Diella, John Fleming, James Bench, Favorite, Rival, Flower, Color Me, Seldom Seen, Elevated, Lenny, Organic, Sunman, Chief Sunny, Temple Pog, Ricardo, Susan, Dan J, Good Friendly Farming, Candy Forest Farmer, Fuck All That Means, the Mystery Grower, Jason Line, 512, Snake Eyes, Northern 4466, Jason Grayson, Stone Raker, MD, 70, Creek Ross, Sonic, Prince, Weller, Tarzan, Superman, Old Man, Hermit Hats, it was nice to see you on the scene again. Free Bird, Ballboard, Manny Guard, Simple Man, Survivor One Time, Tim Blake, Golf Coach, Chronic, Steve Flat, Caballero, Valero, Harley Grower, Jen Gods, Jason Lamb, 512, Steve Collins, Todd Kendricks, Property Maintenance, Sharpie, The Island, Hayes, Scuba Steve Speaks, J.R. Reed, Randy Case, Scuba, Steve Collins, TCJR, Claire Killer, Wardrobe, Farming, Brandy, Grinding, Biff 1008, 3223, Wake Up, Captain Freedom, Big Puffer, Smiles, 15 Digit, Michigan Ganja Mooch, Ash, Fred G, Super Bob,
I never quit.
Broski, 808, we get it, birdies, Keep Back, Justice Station, Strong, Sal, Organic, Sippy, Medic, Honesty, KL, Me, Flower, Red Boot, Todd Kendricks, Kendricks, KT, Christy, True Sim, 4 times, 4 Natty Dread, Bomber Matthews, Ancient Soul, World, Kevin, Kitchen, Canada Health, and Everything, Desert 215, Glad, Low Cut, Average, Generally, Full, Management, Raz, Benji, Helen, Hughes, Genius, DMT, Atomic Spoon, Miss Jill, Big Daddy, LT Gardens, High Flyer, 420, Lobster Cross Row, Mother Tree, Maine, Red Pill, Yo Boy, Ecstatic, Shannon, Get Metro, Ron, Rick W, Uncomfortably Numb, One Smoke Away, The 840 Show, Richard Lamb, Red Pill, 710, Cameron, K Rolling, Worthy Buzz, Logan Man, 81, Oil and Flower Podcast, Contrast by Warren Dixon, Big Lady Luck, No One 420, surrounded by Keith Frog, Farms, Prince Brothers, Single Fathers, Happiness Without Guilt. Mike Steve Ganja, Mike Steve 562 Ganja, James Russo, Rico, Tenzo, B Benson, G Astro Charlie, Sativa Smurf, 4GTCA, Dirty Hole Gardens, TK, James Weaver, Roland Owens, Corey Gagnon, Green Hill Farms, Hillbilly Herb, Tasty Worm Turb, Skunky Brewster, YBF, Larry OG, Abolish Farms, Spartan Grown, Johnny Green Thumb Sub 10, Michigan Wildflower, Seldon Seed Gambler, Title Counter, TP710, cheers to you, my brother. Proud of what you're doing. Caribou TV, Virginia, Dread, Greenbow, Equal, Love Your Internet. Show Coffee Truck, Skyway, Kevin on down, School of Crop, Super Trucker, eBay, Bud Tender, The Glass Girl, 420 Grow, Ted Nugs, Mantrevine, Greg 77, Ted Nugs, Skunk 8, Last Word, Beast Bull 347, Mike Atomic Skier, JMA 182, Justin Gucci, Webcam, Dan Sony, Baby Fat, J. Cuda, Biff 1000, Dan Sony, Sunshine Farm, Daydream, Brad, Sarah, Mountain Laree, Scotty Nowhere, Justice Spring, Not Sure, Red Bear Farms, Two Dog Seeds, Butt Plug, Bungalow, you know who he is, missing this last final sheet. The Fire Department, 420, Colts Mountain, Banana Farmer, Danny Spout Bang from Oak Gauge Originals. Looking forward to hopefully making it to New York with y'all. The Coffee Pot, Seymour Cuts, Biosynthetic, my cousin Nikolai, Doc Vapor, Alex 622, Texas Weed Hopper, Dank Herb, Dank Was Kind, Joe Cadet, Joe P. Cheers, Joe. Hopefully you're well. I need to give you a call. The Space Goat, 82, Pac-Man, Biggie, Long Time, South Bay Genetics, Cushmaster, Let's Be Buds, What's Our Funny, Noah, 427, 10, Dabber, Mr. Magoo, and last but not least, Weedus 207. With that being said, if this is the end of your day, of your journey, please get some rest. If this is the beginning of your day, your journey, take time out for a little bit of self-love, a little bit of new self-love, a little bit of meditation. Dang, you've been fumbled that up. Along the lines of whatever I'm hoping is Amazing Thursday for you, please take time out to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. I'm a living, breathing example of that. With that being said, I am tired and out of here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one.